SurvivorMax.com.
You're 6 minutes away from a live episode of Free Talk Live, brought to you by Freekeen.com. Listen live at freetalklive.com.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Tuesday, January 30th, 2018. Silver is trading at $17.17 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,336 per ounce. Zencash is trading at $47, and the average price of Bitcoin is $10,863. Antiwar.com reports with the Islamic State all but eliminated from Syria, the U.S. has been trying to transition its strategy into an open-ended military presence with an eye towards picking a fight with Iran and imposing regime change on the Assad government at some point. That strategy looks to be in tatters as Turkey's invasion of northern Syria seems to be changing the situation on the ground in such a way that the U.S. military presence may no longer be sustainable. Turkey's invasion is threatening to overrun all of the Kurdish YPG territory, and all of America's deployments in Syria are within YPG territory, often embedded with YPG forces. This is setting the stage for a U.S. clash with Turkey, as Turkey demands that the U.S. withdraw from Manbij, a YPG-held city. Manbij is the demand right now because it's the next target, but with Turkey telegraphing attacks on everywhere else in the country, the U.S. is going to be ordered out of all the territory eventually, and with Turkey still seething over U.S. support for the Kurds, they're probably not going to let them keep their troops deployed in the territory. Where this ends is anyone's guess, as Turkey seems to be betting the U.S. will withdraw rather than risk a clash with another NATO member, and the U.S. seems to be struggling to figure out what to do next. Either way, the U.S. just keeping its troops stationed there and waiting for a chance to go after Iran and or Assad is no longer an option, and if they want to stay in Syria at all, the U.S. is likely going to have to figure out something Turkey will accept at the expense of the Kurdish alliance.
For over 40 years, Robertson Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals like gold and silver. And as a Bitcoin-preferred business, Robertson Roberts Brokerage has removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Robertson Roberts Brokerage today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co.
UPI reports President Donald Trump on Monday said he plans to push a bipartisan effort on immigration reform and tout his success on tax legislation during Tuesday's State of the Union address. He said any deal on the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals program would require Democratic support because Republicans don't have the votes to pass legislation otherwise. DACA, which gives protection to young undocumented immigrants brought to the United States as children, expires in the spring. A senior White House official told reporters last week Trump plans to use the annual speech as a sales pitch for immigration, which likely would include funding for a wall along the United States border with Mexico. Tuesday will be Trump's first official State of the Union address, though he did address a joint session of Congress in March. An official said that overall Trump's speech will push the theme of unity. Jennifer Grossman, former speechwriter for President George H.W. Bush, said that because Trump frequently talks directly to the public via Twitter, his State of the Union speech likely won't matter as much as they did for previous presidents.
Are you an advocate for free market money? Do you promote Bitcoin as an alternative in a fiat-centric world? Then you need Spendabit in your arsenal, the search engine for things you can buy with Bitcoin. Spendabit aggregates millions of products from thousands of Bitcoin-enabled merchants. Keep your money in the free economy. Visit spendabit.co today. Bitcoin merchants, ask about our merchant suite to reach even more customers. Spendabit.co.
Reuters reports Defense Secretary James Mattis has ordered a review of security protocols, according to officials, after fitness tracking devices broadcast patterns of movement at military facilities around the world, including war zones. Nathan Russer, a student at the Australian National University in Canberra, drew attention to data when he wrote on Twitter about the images after stumbling upon Strava's global heat map. His discovery prompted others to scour the heat map. Many of the bases cited are well-known outposts that host U.S. and U.S. suspect personnel. The app potentially discloses not just the broad location where foreign troops operate, but the routes they travel. There is also risk that Strava itself could become a target of nations trying to mine its data to discover identifiable information about who was wearing the devices. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.
A report released Tuesday by physicists at Stanford University revealed that the entire known universe, from the whole of human civilization to the totality of matter and energy, is actually the fictional setting of a cop show called Hard Case. According to authors of the report, existence as we know it was created solely to provide the framework for the primetime drama that airs weekly in a parallel universe, and that every historical event prior to the show's September 2008 pilot, including the Renaissance, World War II, evolution, the September 11th attacks, and the presidential administrations of Washington through Clinton, never actually happened and are merely part of the elaborate backstory crafted by Hard Case creator and showrunner Dominic Egan.
We used to believe that our universe operated under immutable laws of thermodynamics and gravitational relativity, but now we know everything just comes from the minds of Hard Case's 12 staff writers. Overall, it seems like a very well-written show.
Physicists have theorized that the universe as we know it will cease to exist whenever Hard Case airs its final episode.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
It is Free Talk Live. You can dial in toll-free, take control of the airwaves here. You can bring up whatever's on your mind. The number is 855-450, free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We've got Skype, and our Skype username is LRN.FM. Plus, you can call us on the on-air Discord call-in line at discord.lrn.fm. That's where you can also go and chat with other Free Talk Live listeners during, before, and after the show. Joining you in the studio tonight, it's Ian.
And Johnson. And Mark.
And of course, you can bring up whatever you want, but Johnson, you and I both brought a similar story in here tonight. I'm going to share the version from Recode.net about Facebook apparently going to be banning all advertisements promoting cryptocurrencies, including Bitcoin and ICOs. Now, an ICO is an initial coin offering, and that's kind of like the equivalent of sort of the cryptocurrency equivalent of a one of those crowdsourced fundraisers, basically, but decentralized. So instead of instead of having like one of those sites, Kickstarter, that's what I'm thinking of. Kickstarter, Indiegogo, GoFundMe, which is controlled by some centralized corporation. The ICO allows anybody with access to the internet basically to just go ahead and create themselves a fundraiser and sell tokens on the Ethereum networks or the Ethereum blockchain. So they are banning all of this, apparently, and they claim that the reason why is because they want to prevent people from advertising what the company is calling, quote, financial products and services frequently associated with misleading or deceptive promotional practices. That means that no advertiser, even those that operate legal, legitimate businesses, will be able to promote things like Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies, initial coin offerings, or binary options, according to a Facebook blog post. So, sorry, you've got something legitimate in the cryptocurrency sphere? Well, Facebook says, we've decided that the whole sphere of cryptocurrency just has too many scams in it, so therefore, rather than actually having to filter out which are scams and which are legitimate, we're just going to go ahead and filter anything out that has to do with cryptocurrency.
Seems like a reasonable move to me.
You think so?
Yeah, I mean, I'm very careful when it comes to who we advertise on this show, and then you do a secondary level of vetting when it comes to crypto. I pay more attention when it's crypto because I know that there's a bunch of ICO scams out there, ERC20 coins that allow you to breed imaginary cats and all kinds of stuff.
Well, nobody's saying that Crypto Kitties was a scam. That's a legit use of the Ethereum network.
Yeah, well, I think it's silly.
It's definitely silly, but just because you don't like a particular product doesn't mean it's a scam. I mean, Beanie Babies are silly, but they're not a scam.
No,
right?
They're not a scam.
Yeah.
Nonetheless, there are scams out there, plenty of them, and I'm going to try to be as careful as I possibly can with these things, and I understand the difficulty that Facebook feels like it has. It's got listeners or
billions of users,
and it wants to protect them as best it can. It feels the best manner to do that is to keep them away from this stuff. Weiss Ratings just came out with ratings last week that said that Bitcoin was only a C+. If you bought Bitcoin in early January, right now, you're not feeling like it was the greatest investment of your life. If you mortgage the house to get into this stuff,
you made a mistake.
Yeah,
you did that.
So I can see why an ad venue would say we're taking our we're taking our users' well-being to heart here, and we're going to do our best to protect them. Because not everybody can protect themselves.
How many other categories, though, are they doing this in?
I know there's guns.
Okay, guns. But as far as scams, there's a lot of ostensible scams out there. A lot of health products are really questionable. So are they banning all questionable health products out there? Because you're going to find somebody on each side of a healthcare product debate, somebody who believes it saved their life versus others who say that's a bunch of hokum and it's all just a placebo effect or whatever. So there's plenty of that. There, of course, are plenty of pyramid schemes that don't have to do with Bitcoin. No doubt there are some schemes and some scams out there in the Bitcoin world. We've run into people, locally here in the Keene, New Hampshire area who've fallen victim to some of these scams. So there's no doubt about it. Anywhere
we fell victim to a scam in 2011.
That was like a wallet scam, but yeah, it was a scam. But that's not what they're talking about these days. They're talking about the pyramid schemes. They're talking about the fake ICOs, just straight up fraud. The wallet scam was also a long-term fraud, but for a while, it did act as an actual wallet that you could use online.
It was a wallet. It was that guy's wallet.
Right.
We sent our money to that guy's wallet.
Yep. And so sometimes you got to learn the hard way in life.
Just because he could we have taken our money out? I don't know. I just put it in there and looked at it.
Oh, right. Well, there's a lot of scams out there. And so, again, I don't know if Facebook releases, a full list of all the stuff that they've banned. But this is a huge I think it's – I don't like Facebook, but I do understand that people use it for advertising purposes. And some people say it works. I've heard people, like local businesses here in the Keene area, have said that they believe that their Facebook ads gets people through the door because people will tell them.
Yeah,
I heard about this.
Absolutely.
Saw the sale on Facebook.
I've seen it and reacted to it, and yeah, it works.
However, I've never been impressed with what they do for advertising, let's say, Free Talk Live. I've never really – we experimented with it a while back.
I don't think we did it exactly right. I think it's about the content of the ad. So that's the thing about radio ads. Okay, people will tell you, some people, if you sell radio long enough, you're going to find somebody who says, we tried radio and it didn't work.
Sure.
Well, what did you say? And – you get 30 seconds or 60 seconds to say something. Just because we put some money into Facebook doesn't mean that we put the right verbiage to catch the right attention of the right people. It's getting the right message to the right person at the right time. They provide
Facebook does give you the targeting
and the time. Right. They don't give you the message, and they're not supposed to. It's not their job.
I wouldn't expect that.
So, but the same with radio is that if your ad says, come on off to our website, we'll show you pictures of poop. And,
it doesn't seem to me like people want to leave Facebook. I think that even if you advertise something on Facebook, a lot of the time I remember I don't know if it's still the case, but it seemed like at one time they wanted you to advertise your own page on Facebook. Maybe you can actually advertise a website too. I think they can let you do that, but I just feel like people don't leave Facebook. So if you want them to go like a page, okay, they might go like a page.
Yeah, we have a lot of likes.
Then they'll never see.
We've been as high as 18 million post views in a given week.
Yeah.
We've, now we're down in the probably 50,000s, which is a huge difference. And downloads aren't any different for Free Talk Live. That much is true. Now, is there a way to use Facebook advertising to target downloads? I would presume that there is. I would presume that an expert could figure that out. I don't know how to do it.
I'm insulted by the idea of having to give more money to this company that basically neuters their product for the purposes of extracting more money from people. That's essentially what they do. They make it so that the people who like your page can't actually see what you post unless you give Facebook money to promote the post to them. Otherwise, you're going to get maybe 1%. of your audience or something like that.
You think they should just run this, as a charity?
I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying it's crap. Just because they're running a business doesn't make it a good business. It doesn't make it.
Well, it is a good business because people go on it, use it, and enjoy it.
It's good for Facebook, obviously.
There are millions of people using Facebook right now.
Yeah,
it is a good business.
For Facebook, it sure is. But for the rest of the people using it, it's a time sink and it's a waste of time. And as far as money, I'm pretty sure
it's a waste of time.
I'm pretty sure it's a sink of money, too.
Business.
I didn't say it was a bad business from their perspective. It's a good business. They're rolling in dough. No doubt about it. But just because they are in business, they are providing people with a service. So's a crack dealer. Just because they're in business doesn't, and that they're successful at it doesn't mean that it's good what they're doing, ultimately. They have taken social networking and they have actually disabled it. And then they charge you to get it back. Because most people aren't willing to actually leave Facebook because it's very addictive.
Well, you can learn how to use it and use it pretty successfully. So I know
I've been doing that. Once a week, I'll log in for like 5 minutes to go and add the amplifiers to the AMP group.
They're pushing videos right now. If you go on your own page and push a video about Free Talk Live, you're going to get far more views than if we just go and put that video up on Free Talk Live.
That's the claim. The toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. You can bring up what you want here on Free Talk Live.
Ike was such a sweet, lovable animal, and people would want to pet him, and they'd come up, and they'd get close to him, and it would be this instant, oh! My dad didn't want to touch him. It's like, ooh, get the stinky dog away from me.
Even after we'd give her a bath, she would still stink.
Very stinky, both bad breath and bad gas. I asked the vet, and he said some dogs are just stinky.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy? Come to Dinovite for help.
DINOVITE.com.
The omega-3 fatty acids.
Flaxseed, zinc, alfalfa.
The digestive enzymes that are cooked out of regular dog food.
The ingredients convinced me that it was definitely worth trying. After about a week, he started smelling normal. My husband and I were really kind of astonished.
Dinovite is nutrition.
859-428-1000.
DINOVITE.com.
I got my Blink home security system delivered right to my door. I downloaded the app and it walked me right through the easy setup. Even with my complicated router system, I was done in like 10 minutes. Now it notifies me whenever something moves in front of the wireless cameras, or I can just check it whenever I want right from my phone. And I got you a deal. Get 3 Blink cams for what the other guys charge you for 1, plus an extra 10% off. Visit blinkprotect.com/FTL. 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 I've said it many times on air, and I'll say it here. The New Hampshire Liberty Alliance is one of the most important organizations for freedom in the world. New Hampshire is ground zero for freedom, and the NHLA is the best organization at promoting effective liberty activism. This ad is sponsored by Free Talk Live, and I, Mark Edge, am a lifetime member because I believe in the NHLA. Please check them out at nhliberty.org. Not everyone can move right now, but you can support the cause. Donate top cryptocurrencies or old-fashioned U.S. dollars, nhliberty.org. Visit their website and see what they're all about, nhliberty.org.
Free Press Publications is an independent, alternative media and publishing company founded in June 2009 with the mission of ensuring a free press for the freedom movement and is committed to spreading the message of peace, freedom, love, and liberty. FPP also gives new authors an avenue for publishing freedom-oriented material. FPP brings you daily news and commentary on the website fpp.cc, as well as a daily 5-minute newscast, FPP Radio News, and weekly news, views, and commentary in the FPP Freedom Minute and Peace, Love, Liberty Radio at fppradio.com, and the monthly newspaper FPP News at news.fpp.cc. Find FPP online at fpp.cc. That's fpp.cc, as in Creative Commons.
The 3 most important things you can do for Free Talk Live are: 1. Share 1 episode a week on Facebook or in some other social networking site. 2. Buy the things you buy online through shop.freetalklive.com. 3. Give $5 a month to the AMP program. It's my firm belief that Free Talk Live's AMP program is the best use of your charitable dollar among liberty-oriented organizations. Support all the organizations you love. But make sure you give $5 a month to AMP at amp.freetalklive.com. Radio is the most personal of mediums. I exist right now in your head. If you listen to Free Talk Live regularly, you know me. Free Talk Live is on more than 160 radio stations around the U.S. and has been downloaded on every continent around the world. Hundreds of thousands of listeners with ad packages from $600 a month to $6,000 a month. Imagine what we can do for your business, project, website, or idea. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
You can put the Liberty Radio Network on the air in your area. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how. Broadcast.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live, you dial toll free, bring up what you want. Our number here is 855-450, free like freedom, 855-450-3733. You can also join us on our Discord at the on-air call-in line room there. You can just jump in. We'll see you there, and we'll jump in too, and then you'll be on the air with us. It's Ian Johnson and Mark in the studio here. You can join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm or hop on our Skype at Skype username lrn.fm. Dash is digital cash. It's a digital money platform designed to replace cash and help people manage their own wealth. It's fast, it can be private and easy, fees are low, and transactions are quick and can be confirmed instantly. You can pay anyone, anywhere in the world, anytime for just pennies on the dollar. And Dash is decentralized and run by users who earn rewards for helping run the network and make governance decisions. Anyone can invest in Dash and earn rewards for helping run the Dash network. So join Dash and help create a better financial system for everyone. You can take back control over your financial future today. Find out more at Dash.org. There's a lot of momentum behind Dash right now. Go to Dash.org and you will find out why. As we're talking about the new Facebook advertising restrictions, just outright banning anything that has to do with cryptocurrency because, well, some things could be scams and are scams. In the same way that anything, there's a lot of different options out there with cash that will scam you. There are a lot of seminars that are designed to scam you out of things. There's all kinds of scams out there. There's scam products out there that, some people believe actually cause harm to people that use them, but others swear by them. So Facebook has just decided here, rather than try to ferret out the good stuff from the bad stuff, they're just going to go ahead and ban absolutely anything related to cryptocurrencies, ICOs, or something called binary options trading.
One ad I haven't seen in a long time is the click here for a chance to win an iPad.
Really?
Yeah, I haven't seen that in a long time, and I suspect Facebook has got that. On
Facebook, yeah. Okay.
But I think just generally I haven't seen it, and I think it's because Facebook has banned that particular thing, likely because it's more likely to be a scam than your average ad.
Sure.
So I suspect that's what they feel like is going on with crypto, and, it's their sandbox. If you want to play there, you can follow their rules.
So a binary options trade is essentially it's gambling. It's betting whether or not something will be above a certain amount by a certain date.
Isn't that futures?
Apparently not, because you're saying yes or no.
Okay.
Maybe it's like a futures kind of trade.
I'm not a trader person, but I thought that's what a future was. Isn't that where you bet on whether or not the price of a thing gets to a certain point?
Pretty much.
At a certain date?
But maybe there's a particular type of futures trading called the binary option.
Maybe it's what happens when you trade futures without a government license.
I don't know.
You can trade a future with before it's deliverable, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I could buy my Bitcoin option at, I don't know what Bitcoin option's at, $11,000 today, and it's deliverable in 2 months. In a month, I'm like, oh yeah, now's the time to sell this, and I can sell it to you for $12,000 or whatever. I don't know. I mean, I don't know how it works exactly, but I know I can sell the future option to you, and then you can take it.
Mm-hmm. And that would be different than this, which is just a straight up bet
option,
on a thing.
Yeah. If you invest irresponsibly, you can definitely trade your future for a less good one.
So we're talking about the new rules according to Recode.net. They have announced in a blog post that they're going to be banning all of these things, and that means that crypto genius James Altucher, whose ads have appeared all over the internet, have become a meme of sorts for the entire crypto industry. He won't be able to advertise on Facebook. Now, I've seen this guy's name around, James Altucher. Is he like some kind of crypto guru for people? Have you guys ever heard of him before?
No.
You're not familiar?
He's probably like Kramer is for trading.
The Mad Kramer guy, Mad Money Kramer.
Jim Kramer. It's probably like the same kind of thing, but for Bitcoin. That's what I imagine. I'm guessing. I don't really know. I could be completely, making an irresponsible claim here. But, it just seems like somebody who's going around placing all sorts of Facebook ads about how they're a crypto genius is just like...
That's what he's calling himself, apparently.
Yeah.
Self-described crypto genius James Altucher asks, why does Bitcoin even exist? Why do cryptocurrencies even exist? Well, I can answer that question. As I understand it, Satoshi Nakamoto, the anonymous creator of Bitcoin, was no fan of the banking industry, was no fan of government-issued fiat currency, and wanted to give people a currency that they would have more control over and devolve power from the hands of the bankers and the governments into the hands of the people. So the guy is Satoshi is a hero. I don't know much about James Altucher, but anyway, apparently his ads are going to be banned. And any ads for anything related to cryptocurrency, if they violate the company's new policy, they will be banned on Facebook's core app, but also in other places where Facebook sells ads, including Instagram and its ad network, the Audience Network, which places ads on third-party apps.
It's a whole new way to get banned on Facebook.
They say the policy is intentionally broad while we work at better detecting deceptive and misleading advertising practices. We'll revisit this policy and how we enforce it as our signals improve. So I guess what they're saying is that maybe there's a chance they'll roll it back and it won't be all-encompassing in the future. And I suspect that if some crypto company comes to Facebook and offers them a bunch of money, that might roll back the policy in certain areas as well. And so look for blowback from entrepreneurs and investors who argue the move unfairly punishes legitimate cryptocurrency companies and related crypto products. Facebook's board of directors includes two investors, Mark Andreessen and Peter Thiel, whose firms have been prominent crypto backers. And Facebook Messenger's boss, David Marcus, is on the board at the popular crypto exchange Coinbase. So there's some ties within the board of directors world of Facebook, apparently, to cryptocurrency. So maybe this won't be a lasting ban as far as advertising cryptocurrencies on Facebook, but as it exists, it's a major hit, I would say, to the world of cryptocurrencies, given that so many people swear by the Facebook advertising.
Well, it's going to be bad for Facebook, too. There are going to be people who say, well, I'm not going to go on Facebook anymore.
Well, that's Facebook's goal this year.
What do you mean?
To shrink.
Really?
Yeah.
Where'd you hear that?
Facebook.
So
it's all over the news.
They want to shed users or what?
Yeah,
Why?
their goal this year is because they're going to focus on meaningful social interactions, supposedly this year. That's their goal for this year. And they say if that means that they're going to lose users, which they know based on this that they are.
But what does that mean?
Okay.
Meaningful social interactions.
Yeah, I don't know. And it's
as opposed to
creepy.
social interactions that are not meaningful.
I understand that. But what is meaningful
Getting
by
scammed
Facebook?
is certainly not meaningful.
No doubt. No doubt. What is Facebook?
Actually, I would think that actually would contain a lot of meaning. Being scammed, I would think that anything that elicits a large emotional response would be something that is quite meaningful. It just might not be good meaning, but it would be meaningful. Meaningful is kind of nonsense, right? If you're just saying a meaningful social interaction.
Yeah, is it meaningful if you click a like button on somebody's picture of their dinner?
Right.
Is that a meaningful interaction?
Now you know what they had for dinner.
Or do you have to actually have a
something.
conversation with somebody in order for it to be meaningful? Does it need to be a text-only conversation, or is it a voice conversation that would make it more meaningful?
I think the idea is to stop promoting things like, more like they actually want to stop promoting certain types of advertising and really downplay advertising and
they don't want to downplay advertising
on local interactions. Supposedly that's the goal. I mean, who knows?
Sounds like marketing nonsense. The toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE like freedom, 855-450-3733. Apparently some are calling for Facebook to be regulated. Johnson's got that story on the way, and you can take control of the airwaves on Free Talk Live.
This is Dan Pillett. Do you owe the IRS money you can't pay? Are tax debts crippling you? I've defended people from the IRS for over 30 years. I've helped thousands, and I can help you too. I wrote the book on IRS settlement, and I'm telling you, there's no such thing as a hopeless case. Call 800-34-NO-TAX to finally get free of IRS debt. With the IRS's new programs, there's never been a better time to solve your problem. Call 800-34-NO-TAX. That's 800-34-NO-TAX, or my website, danpilla.com.
Water is the single most important thing your body needs, so you want to be sure it's the best for you and your family. Since 2005, thousands have depended on Berkey purified water. The Berkey Guy provides the lowest priced filtration systems in every size. For incredibly delicious water now and in an emergency, get to GoBerkey.com or call 877-886-3653. 877-886-3653. GoBerkey.com.
On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com.
This Your Family Today tip is brought to you by Ovaltine. Give your kids the nutrition they need to be their best. Visit us at ovaltineusa.com. Telling your child about healthy food choices is important, but showing her what to eat goes a lot further. Have her help create the grocery list, then bring her to the store with you. Picking out healthy foods together helps kids get in the habit of thinking about what they're eating every day. For more tips like these, visit us at parenthood.com/yourfamilytoday.
Did you know you can watch Free Talk Live during our live show 7 days a week from 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern via our studio cams at cam.freetalklive.com? Plus, you can chat with other listeners while you watch, all totally free. Now that our live video stream is hosted by YouTube, our video archives will be online even faster, so be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Listen, watch, and chat all free at cam.freetalklive.com. That's cam.freetalklive.com. The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com.
Help get LRN.FM into more ears. Visit promote.lrn.fm for a free bumper sticker, flyers, banners, graphics, and more. Promote.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, and you can bring up whatever you want here. Our number is 855-450, free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. You can take control of the airwaves. And joining you in the studio tonight, it's Ian.
And Johnson.
And Mark.
You want to learn about Bitcoin? Well, you don't have to go and pay some mastermind to explain it all to you. You can just go and visit Bitcoin.com and learn about it for free. Bitcoin.com, great place to go for those who are brand new, but also seasoned veterans. Maybe you just want to get the latest headlines. Go to news.bitcoin.com. In that case, that's news.bitcoin.com for daily updates, probably multiple couple times a day, I would guess, over at news.bitcoin.com. You want to get involved in Bitcoin mining? They've got that too, and you don't have to deal with setting up your own server and hardware questions and all that. You just hire them to do it for you over at pool.bitcoin.com. That gets you to their Bitcoin mining pool. Also, they've got the Bitcoin Cash mining pool option, which is the one that I've chosen to get involved with. So go to bitcoin.com, get started into the world of cryptocurrency there, which you will not be hearing about on Facebook now. Apparently, Facebook banning any advertising relating to cryptocurrency. They're saying that maybe down the line they'll revisit the policy as they learn more about what, is obvious scams versus not scams, if they can somehow sort that out with their automated system. I don't know if they'll be successful at that, because it's one of those things where you've got to look at whatever it is that's being said. Now, there are some times where it's clearly too good to be true, and you might as well just not even look based on how good the claims are. I mean, if it's saying you invest X and then you get 10%, that's or more, you're probably looking at a scam. But, if you want to do your due diligence, you still got to do that on a lot of these things. You can't expect Facebook to do it for you. You can't expect Google to do it for you. And once you leave Facebook, which Facebook doesn't want you to do, but once you leave Facebook, there's a whole internet out there. Now, of course, there are some people who don't realize that's the case, like a large number of folks in Africa who have Facebook-only internet on their
it's free,
smartphones.
Right?
Free or very, very low cost. I forget which. But basically, Facebook offers a very restricted internet, which is only Facebook, to its users of certain phone plans in Africa.
Yeah, I figured this out with the building of the orphanage over there in Jinja, Uganda. You can go find out more at hope.freetalklive.com. But the guy who's building it there really only has Facebook. Yeah.
Interesting.
It's a big deal for him to click on a link.
Yeah. Well, I think that there's some good things that Facebook does, and a lot of people don't like that Facebook is offering that service to people. But if that's all they can get, then I don't think there's a problem with that. I think that if that's your only way of connecting to some sort of internet, it's better than not having it. And if they're able,
better than not having the internet, yes.
Yeah, and if they're able to provide that at a cost that allows people who otherwise wouldn't have some sort of online access to get online access, then they're doing, I think, a good thing generally there. And that's me saying that as a Facebook critic.
Oh, yes, you are.
In that particular case.
I'm proud of you, Ian.
I think that that's generally a good thing. Even though, again, I think that Facebook can be a time waster and a time sink, it could be a legitimate way for people to connect if they have no other option, which, of course, is the critique of it, is that, Facebook isn't allowing for any other options. Well, surely if you pay more to your cell phone company, you'll get the higher tiers of service, including the full internet.
Sure.
So anyway, if you want to join us here, the toll-free number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. Johnson, you had a story that you also brought in regarding Facebook. Mm-hmm. Somebody out there is calling for them to be regulated.
Well, not just somebody, actually a fairly well-known CEO of a very major software as a service CRM, which is a customer relations management software called Salesforce.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Is this like a prospecting?
That's the big one.
Is this a prospecting tool? What is
that? On top of that and a whole bunch of stuff, yes.
Okay.
It's a prospecting tool.
I don't know. What would you say it is? Because, you're the sales guru. This guy, Mark Benioff, is the CEO of Salesforce, and Salesforce is pretty well known, I think, in sales circles.
What does CRM stand for again?
Customer Relations Management.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
Yep,
okay, but there you go. That's what it is.
It's what it is. It's basically every tool that you need as a salesperson, supposedly to make it easy for you to,
taking notes on kids, birthdays,
right. Downloading people's LinkedIn stuff. Having the emails that you with this person right there, so you can flip through them as quickly as possible, note taking, and just a whole bunch of things.
Well, Salesforce CEO Mark Benioff is the latest tech insider to raise the alarm over social media's effect on society with comments at Davos. Davos being
the World Economic Forum?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, he claims that Facebook should be regulated like a cigarette company. because of the addictive and harmful properties of social media, according to the Salesforce chief executive.
Does that mean that you would have to click through a Surgeon General's warning in order to log into the website?
I don't know.
Warning,
Facebook would have to have a skull and crossbones in the front of it. I mean, what?
Well, because not in the United States at least, but in like Australia, and I think they introduced it in Canada, but I haven't been there since they've done this to confirm it. But aren't they putting pictures of like rotted out lungs and things like that on and dead babies on packs of cigarettes in some countries?
I don't know about the dead babies, but certainly rotted out lungs.
Rotted out lungs for sure.
Yeah.
And so is that what we're going to see? Horrifying pictures of...
I don't know. Maybe it'll just be a warning label that says Facebook, known in the state of California to be a carcinogen.
Maybe it'll just turn on your laptop's camera and have you look at yourself for a second. just take a look.
You have to look at yourself in the eyes for 5 seconds.
You see the drool coming out of your mouth? You slack-jawed Nimrod.
It's not a bad idea, Mark. But what does he mean?
Somebody give me a snack.
When he says that, does he explain?
Well, he said, or I guess the idea here is social networks would be regulated exactly the same way that you regulated the cigarette industry. Benioff told CNBC at the World Economic Forum in Davos. Here's a product, cigarettes. They're addictive. They're not good for you. Maybe there's all kinds of different forces trying to get you to do certain things. There's a lot of parallels. I think that for sure technology has addictive qualities that we have to address, and that product designers are working to make those products more addictive, and we need to rein that back as much as possible, he added.
Because the government is great at stopping addictive things from hitting the marketplace.
Benioff, who founded a B2B cloud computing company Salesforce in 1999, is now worth more than $4 billion, suggested the regulation of some form was inevitable for the technology industry. And I think that's terrifying. He says, we're the same as any other industry, he said. Financial services, consumer product goods, food, and technology, the government's going to have to be involved.
Ugh.
There is some regulation, but there will probably have to be more.
Yuck.
A string of Silicon Valley heads have spoken out in recent months about their fear that social media could be more psychologically damaging than anyone expected. Last week, venture capitalist Roger McNamee, an early investor in Facebook, wrote a Guardian column warning the company would have to address the harm the platform has caused.
I love the Vice narrative that you're doing here. It's
through addiction and exploitation by bad actors.
Well, no, they're going to protect us from the bad actors. They're going to ban all cryptocurrency advertisements.
Oh, yeah, right?
They're looking out for you. Facebook's just trying to keep you safe.
Yeah. I was once Mark Zuckerberg's mentor, but I have not been able to speak to him about this. Unfortunately, all the internet platforms are deflecting criticism and leaving their users in peril.
Wow.
I wonder what Mark Zuckerberg would say about this guy's mentor status.
Yeah. Wow.
Earlier. Oh, well.
We got to come back with this.
Yeah, hold on this one, because this one's good.
All right. The toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE, like freedom, 855-450-3733. We've got Skype as well. You can Skype in here at Skype username LRN.FM. I mean, while I may share the concerns that this guy has with Facebook's addictive
do you share his passion?
Qualities, I certainly do not share that level of passion. I certainly don't share the desire for government to get involved. It's Free Talk Live.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy? Come to Dynavite for help.
Order a 90-day supply of Dynavite.
Dynavite is nutrition.
Pick up 2 bottles of Lico-Chops. Get the 3rd bottle free.
New improved Lico-Chops with omega-3, omega-6, vitamin E.
And now, 6 extra direct-fed microbials.
Even better for the digestive tract and immune system.
Try Lico-Chops. Buy 2, get 1 free.
At Dynavite.com.
DINOVITE.com.
Cryptocurrencies are successful because of good technology. The liberty-loving voluntarists who founded Zencash in 2017 took the best tech, like zero-knowledge anonymity and decentralized autonomous organizations, and are creating a secure platform for money, messages, and media that can be sent to anyone, anywhere in the world. Zencash is a cryptocurrency dedicated to peace, anonymity, and decentralization. Find out more at Zencash.com. That's Zencash.com.
It's about time something new came along for better selling and buying online. And I found it.
What now, Marge?
It's buysellmakeoffer.com.
Never heard of it.
It's a brand new company. That's why you've never heard of it. It's the newest and best way to sell any products online. I did all the research.
Sell my car?
Yes.
Our home?
Yep.
My golf bag?
Your golf clubs. All of them.
How about your purse collection hoard?
Hey, now.
You said any product.
Right. I did. We get 30 days free.
Really?
Packages starting from only $9.95. And buysellmakeoffer.com will never charge item fees ever. Never. And this is cool. Listen to this. You can even use Skype or video to show your items.
That's cool.
Yes. All we have to do is go to the website, sign up, and then load our stuff to sell. I love this site.
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. You got it?
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. Better selling, better buying.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agrist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agrist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any skullduggery. So go with agristhosting.com. Have a WordPress or blog site, but you're not satisfied with performance or uptime? Or just want raw hosting? Want to pay with Bitcoin? Agrist Hosting specializes in high-performance hosting with personalized service. Go to agristhosting.com and click on the button that says Get Hosted. That's agristhosting.com.
Did you know we've taken our LRN.FM telephone listen line to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on demand line? Now you can call 712-770-8447 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed. And you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long distance fees may apply. Just dial 712-770-8447 and choose from the menu. 712-770-8447. What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin. But imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise. All you have to do is go to SaveItPurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too. Plan ahead and save. SaveItPurse.com.
Some of our live shows are streamed in HD on Twitch. Please follow and share at twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live, you dial toll free, bring up whatever you want. Our number here, 855-450, free like freedom. It's 855-450-3733. We've got Skype as well. The Skype username is LRN.FM. And don't forget, if you want to help out Free Talk Live, then please join the AMP program. You go to amp.freetalklive.com. It's $5 a month, and you get some cool perks like access to the AMP-only call-in lines, the AMP-only Facebook group, and the new AMP-only Discord chats. There's a text version for amplifiers and a voice channel as well, which you can have the AMP status applied to your account. All you have to do is shoot me a private message on the Discord, and you can get on the Discord any old time you want to by going to discord.lrn.fm. Coming up here, of course, you can bring up whatever's on your mind, but don't forget, please, help us out with the AMP program. It helps us get new radio stations on board. In fact, I'm going to be adding several new stations to our list this week. Just didn't get a chance to get to it today. That's still to come. So it's thanks to listeners like you becoming Free Talk Live amplifiers, and you get cool perks. Get the full list of perks over at amp.freetalklive.com. Sign up with any major credit card, PayPal, also Bitcoin Core, which is cheaper now to use than it was last month. I think finally the median price of the fees has gotten down below $5. So that's good news. Anyway, Bitcoin Core is available to you to AMP over at amp.freetalklive.com. As we go to your calls and your thoughts, Dave Ridley is with us on the line on Skype. Hello, Dave.
I'm coming. Don't hang up.
Oh, yeah,
okay,
there you
I
are.
am.
All right.
Yes. I have some, I guess, a minor victory to report from Hopkinton, New Hampshire.
Okay.
Apparently, Dennis Goddard, who is a Free Stater and sometime official in Hopkinton, says, quote, "We won a $30 million budget battle, at least for now, mostly by just going to the school board and budget committee hearings, volunteering places and talking to people and making many dozens of flyers and posting them all over town. Seriously, this is pretty big," unquote. So I guess what it was an attempted school bond.
Okay. And they stopped it from happening, is what you're saying.
Yes, he also says, quote, "Two Free Staters and a coalition of seniors and middle-income folks forced the school district to rescind their bond before any more heat from the public," unquote.
This is the next town over from Concord, which is a pretty thoroughly, every state capital is, pretty thoroughly Democratic, blue place. And that they were able to do this in a blue place, I don't know if Hopkinton's blue, I wouldn't be able to say. But it's right next door to Concord, which certainly is. Maybe that's where all the Republicans fled, for all I know. But, doing it that close to the state capital amazes me.
Yeah. And... it's one of those things where I guess they have a goal, and their next goal is to try and get a zero increase budget. But, if you stop and think about that, I guess they haven't had one, I think, since Dennis has lived there, and I think he's lived there since around 2005. So, if it is really that big, should it really have to be that big a deal just to have a budget that doesn't go up?
Well, yeah, because you're fighting against the entrenched bureaucracy. And that's why he's saying this is a big win, because it's hard to defeat the teachers. It's hard to defeat the teachers' union in these places. They are the ones who go out. They are the ones who attend the yearly annual budget meetings. And they're the ones who vote in favor of a larger budget every single time. So until you can get the numbers of activists out to oppose these people, which is a lot easier said than done, then you're going to lose again and again and again, and the school budgets are going to go up again and again and again. The good news is, in any given town, it probably won't take more than a few dozen folks to basically overrun any one of these school board meetings. But again, it's easier said than done. Getting people to turn out on a Saturday morning or whenever it is that they have this meeting.
Finding people in your town that agree with you.
Finding people willing to do it.
If you're a libertarian, it's going to be darn difficult.
Well, there are a lot of people who agree with having a smaller school budget. It's just that they're busy running their lives. It's hard to persuade people to do these things, which is why we've got this New Hampshire freedom migration in the first place, because libertarians have been banging their head up against the political wall, the brick wall that is politics, all around the country, and have been failing over and over again. So the idea was, and has been working very well in my opinion, to concentrate liberty-minded people in one geographic area. So maybe we'll have a chance at actually outnumbering the bureaucrats someday. We're not there yet. Okay, so here in Keene, New Hampshire, which is a city, if you will, in New Hampshire. In New Hampshire's scale, it's a city. They call it a city, but in most places it'd be called a large town.
City's just a designation. It's 22,000 people.
Yeah, about that. And I think that's with the college students. So when the college students aren't here, it's actually a little bit less, maybe like 18,000 or something, but a small place. That said, there's still this entrenched bureaucracy, and it's hard to overcome it. If you look at the number of employees that just the city of Keene has, I don't think the school board's included in this. I believe the city of Keene's got about 250 employees. The last I looked, and that was like a decade ago. We maybe have 25 activists. So we are not even close to overcoming, just on raw numbers, on economic strength. We're still not close. If the city employees threaten to boycott a downtown business, if they're allowing liberty-minded people or free staters or libertarians or whatever
Bitcoin meetup
to eat at their downtown business, and the city employees go in there and they say, if you keep letting these people eat here, we're going to not come eat at your business anymore. That's going to be enough to scare a business owner into doing exactly whatever it is the city wants. And if you think I'm just randomly speculating on something that might happen, that actually already has happened, and it happened like a decade ago here.
It's probably happened a few times from what we can tell.
Yeah.
We we should be so lucky as to have bureaucrats that behave honorably that way and do an honorable thing like a boycott, as opposed to just dumping the government on the business.
On the business owner.
Yeah,
I see what you mean. And certainly, business owners know it. I've heard through the rumor mill there's one downtown business that is afraid to take cryptocurrency because they don't want the backlash
I've heard
associated
from the rumor mill that there's about 3 of them.
Okay, yeah. Well, there's one that we know refuses to do it.
Right,
and there's
because
a new
they've
one.
said so.
There's another one that I happen to have heard through the back channels that's the reason, which is insane. And their concern is that the city workers are going to, boycott the place or something like that, or at the very least not eat there. Maybe they won't make a bunch of noise about it, but amongst themselves they'll spread the word to not eat there. And that's over.
Oh yeah, there is real fear in Keene, and it's not just among liberty activists. There was a time I went and someone had gave me a story tip, and they said, I should go talk to this guy, who the city stopped him from putting up a sign, and interview him. And I went in, and he was afraid to be talked to or interviewed or anything like that, and to raise any kind of complaints on YouTube about his concerns about the fact they'd stopped him from putting a sign up.
Yep. And so then you've got the people that we discussed last night who will not be honest about the fact that they are a Free State Project participant. That those are the people, some of them were upset at our co-host on Monday Nights, Melanie, who had spoken publicly at a hearing recently in the State House in Concord and said she's both an anarchist and a Free Stater or a Free State Project participant.
Well, wait a second. If you're not being honest about whether or not you're a Free Stater, and I can certainly understand why one would choose not to self-identify that way, why would you care if somebody went to the state capitol and said they were a Free Stater?
Because apparently they weren't very good enough at keeping their secret that they shouldn't have been bothering to keep, probably.
Apparently they cared because, as you were here last night, Mark, she said that they blew up on her on Facebook.
Well, I don't know
and
what
one of
you
them
said
even
about
told
this.
her to not even mention the Free State Project ever again in public.
I think that was a suggestion that was made to her. But I guess first off, I wouldn't go broadcasting that I'm a Free Stater, because all it does is declare to the locals that I don't know what you think, but you're wrong, and I'm here to fix you.
I don't know if it declares that at all. I mean, there might be some
that.
locals who like you because of it.
A small handful.
Yeah, I don't know what percentage, Mark. I really don't. But certainly the ones who don't like you are more likely to tell you about it and more likely to write articles about you and, talk about you. So I understand why people are afraid to do it because, hey, guess what? When you show up somewhere and you start trying to change the system, people are going to target you. They're not going to like you.
Free Staters are lucky if they get to change anything. Mostly they're just able to help the locals to keep things the way they are. That's probably the best bet you can do at this point.
No, that's definitely not the best bet. I mean, we've seen plenty of examples of liberty-minded people, Free Staters included, who've been elected here, and they've gotten bills through that have absolutely changed things for the better.
In many cases, they changed them back to the way they were only 10 years ago or something.
Sure, but that's a change for the better because they're making it better than it currently is. I think we can go through a laundry list of political wins that both Free Staters and Libertarians have had here in New Hampshire, but we don't have time for that. Dave Ridley from RidleyReport.com. Thank you for the call here tonight. Folks can follow his YouTube channel and find out what adventures he's been up to recently. In fact, he posted some Keene videos where he, I guess, ambushes some of the Keene bureaucrats and politicians in the hallways of City Hall.
They love that.
Which I always enjoy watching those. There's more coming up here. It's Free Talk Live. You can bring up what you want. Hour 2 on the way.
It's been said, any society is only 3 missed meals away from chaos. Those times may be near. Think about it. Our country faces multiple terrorist threats and aggressions from Russia and North Korea. Social unrest and violent marches yet again may lead to looting of stores and city shutdowns. And our crumbling infrastructure leaves our power grid vulnerable to long-term outages from a single cyber attack. When the chaos from any one of these threats arises, the government knows it can't provide during a widespread national emergency. That's why you need your own plan for self-reliance. That's where My Patriot Supply comes in. Get a 4-week survival food supply for only $99. That includes breakfast, lunches, and dinners. Order online at preparewithgcn.com. $99 for 4 weeks of survival food that tastes like homemade cooking and lasts up to 25 years from My Patriot Supply. Get your kits today at preparewithgcn.com. Free shipping is included. Preparewithgcn.com.
Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in Liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealEstate.com.
If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com. You can get emailed announcements and participate in contests via our email updates list. Plus, we have a Twitter account that you can follow and a Facebook page where you can become a fan. So visit news.freetalklive.com to get news about Free Talk Live as soon as it's announced and the way you want it delivered at news.freetalklive.com. That's news.freetalklive.com.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 2 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Tuesday, January 30th, 2018. Silver is trading at $17.17 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,336 per ounce. Zencash is trading at $47, and the average price of Bitcoin is $10,863. Antiwar.com reports with the Islamic State all but eliminated from Syria, the U.S. has been trying to transition its strategy into an open-ended military presence with an eye towards picking a fight with Iran and imposing regime change on the Assad government at some point. That strategy looks to be in tatters as Turkey's invasion of northern Syria seems to be changing the situation on the ground in such a way that the U.S. military presence may no longer be sustainable. Turkey's invasion is threatening to overrun all of the Kurdish YPG territory, and all of America's deployments in Syria are within YPG territory, often embedded with YPG forces. This is setting the stage for a U.S. clash with Turkey, as Turkey demands that the U.S. withdraw from Manbij, a YPG-held city. Manbij is the demand right now because it's the next target, but with Turkey telegraphing attacks on everywhere else in the country, the U.S. is going to be ordered out of all the territory eventually, and with Turkey still seething over U.S. support for the Kurds, they're probably not going to let them keep their troops deployed in the territory. Where this ends is anyone's guess, as Turkey seems to be betting the U.S. will withdraw rather than risk a clash with another NATO member, and the U.S. seems to be struggling to figure out what to do next. Either way, the U.S. just keeping its troops stationed there and waiting for a chance to go after Iran and or Assad is no longer an option, and if they want to stay in Syria at all, the U.S. is likely going to have to figure out something Turkey will accept at the expense of the Kurdish alliance.
For over 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals like gold and silver. And as a Bitcoin-preferred business, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts Brokerage today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co.
UPI reports President Donald Trump on Monday said he plans to push a bipartisan effort on immigration reform and tout his success on tax legislation during Tuesday's State of the Union address. He said any deal on the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals program would require Democratic support because Republicans don't have the votes to pass legislation otherwise. DACA, which gives protection to young undocumented immigrants brought to the United States as children, expires in the spring. A senior White House official told reporters last week Trump plans to use the annual speech as a sales pitch for immigration, which likely would include funding for a wall along the United States border with Mexico. Tuesday will be Trump's first official State of the Union address, though he did address a joint session of Congress in March. An official said that overall Trump's speech will push the theme of unity. Jennifer Grossman, former speechwriter for President George H.W. Bush, said that because Trump frequently talks directly to the public via Twitter, his State of the Union speech likely won't matter as much as they did for previous presidents.
Are you an advocate for free market money? Do you promote Bitcoin as an alternative in a fiat-centric world? Then you need SpendaBit in your arsenal, the search engine for things you can buy with Bitcoin. SpendaBit aggregates millions of products from thousands of Bitcoin-enabled merchants. Keep your money in the free economy. Visit spendabit.co today. Bitcoin merchants, ask about our merchant suite to reach even more customers. Spendabit.co.
Reuters reports Defense Secretary James Mattis has ordered a review of security protocols, according to officials, after fitness tracking devices broadcast patterns of movement at military facilities around the world, including war zones. Nathan Russer, a student at the Australian National University in Canberra, drew attention to data when he wrote on Twitter about the images after stumbling upon Strava's global heat map. His discovery prompted others to scour the heat map. Many of the bases cited are well-known outposts that host U.S. and U.S.-backed personnel. The app potentially discloses not just the broad location where foreign troops operate, but the routes they travel. There is also risk that Strava itself could become a target of nations trying to mine its data to discover identifiable information about who was wearing the devices. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.
A new Gallup poll found that the GOP has an overwhelming advantage among young people who look like old men. The poll shows Republicans hold a solid lead among the coveted elderly youth demographic, including 18 to 24-year-olds who wear suspenders and bow ties to class every day. I'm joined by Republican strategist Rob Powell. These are pretty encouraging numbers for the GOP, aren't they?
Of course, it's very encouraging. Millennials who look like they're permanently dressed for boat trips are a rapidly growing segment of the population.
And according to the survey, the prematurely aged are also very politically active.
Absolutely. Only about 20% of young people vote overall, but there's almost 100% turnout among youth that dress like a dad from a 1950s sitcom.
Now, what about the criticism that the GOP only appeals to white men?
Not true. We also have a lot of support among sorority girls that wear pantsuits and pearls, paunchy Chinese college students, and we're making inroads among African American ham radio enthusiasts.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
It is Free Talk Live. We're launching into the second hour of the program. You can join us here toll free at 855-450 free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We do have Skype at Skype username LRN.FM. Joining you in the studio here tonight, you've got me, Ian.
And Johnson.
And Mark.
To the phones, to the fun. Then we can talk about whatever is on your mind. On the way, we can discuss Grumpy Cat, who has apparently won $710,000 in a lawsuit.
I bet her stingy, nasty owners are going to keep all that, too.
Let's go to Vernon first, though. He's in New Orleans. Vernon, you're listening online. Go ahead.
Y'all have any opinions on the State of the Union, or do y'all even care? I think I'm going to stay tuned to Free Talk Live myself.
Well, sometimes there have been times in the past. I mean, we don't do it on any kind of consistent basis. We have been known to tune into certain addresses like that so we can hear what's being said and comment on the things that are being said. So what time is it supposed to happen? Do you know?
And 9 o'clock Eastern.
9 o'clock Eastern.
That'd have been my guess.
All right, so we'll see if we can find. I don't know if we're not doing something else at that time. We'll check it out.
I imagine it's going to go something like this. We're not great yet, folks, but we will be soon.
One thing I heard is one thing I heard was that Donald Trump sent out a text message to all his followers, whoever subscribed, and he said that if you texted him back, he would run those text messages at the bottom of his. He's going to have a stream on his own website, and he's going to run those text messages all night. And he said, "Don't tune into the fake news for this. Tune into my website." I just thought that was funny.
So wait, when he says his website, is he talking about whitehouse.gov, or is he talking about does Donald Trump?
I think it's his campaign website, from what I understand. I don't have the whole story with me, but I think that's what happened.
Okay, that's interesting. I got to say, I'm a little bit intrigued by that.
One of the other ideas I saw online was you may as well put all of the corporate donors on the podium that have donated to his campaign. I thought that was kind of funny myself as well.
That'd be good.
Anyways, thank you all.
Hey, thank you, Vernon, for the call tonight. I appreciate hearing from you. And the toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. So we're doing some testing right now on the LRN Discord over at discord.lrn.fm. One of the, I would say, most requested features of the people who've joined the Discord, now over 260 people as of last night. The folks who've joined, the most requested feature is, hey, can I listen to you guys in Discord? And the answer was, at that time, no, but we had known that there was the possibility that there might be some sort of bot that would allow that to be the case. And credit to Venkman, who is a sometime caller to the program, who did the research, did the effort, put the effort in to get one set up, and it is in there right now. So if you needed another reason to join the LRN.FM Discord, in addition to the fact that you can chat with other listeners of the show during, before, and after the program, via either text or voice, there's now a channel in which you can just listen to the show. And, of course, you can also text chat at the same time in the text chat room.
Why is Discord so popular when we've had an IRC chat for a decade?
I would say because it's bigger, meaning that the IRC, which stands for Internet Relay Chat, that's kind of chat rooms that have been around on the Internet forever, since before the Internet had graphics. IRC's been there.
Yes.
And so we've had it for basically as long as we've done this show.
Yeah. I mean, Free Talk Live was putting up MP3s before there was a term called podcast. You know,
we did that, like 3 years before the term podcast got invented. But so what was the question?
Why do people go to the Discord channel?
Right, because it's bigger.
Because there's a lot of people in there.
There are more people overall in there. I don't know if there's a bunch of people necessarily in one channel chatting at once. It hasn't gotten to the point where it's too fast to read. You know, when chat rooms become too busy, it becomes impossible to actually want to be in a room because you can't actually read what's going by. But in this case,
I don't know why chats like that exist.
I don't know either.
How does that?
How do people do that?
Happen?
Yeah. How do you spend more than 20 seconds in there without going mad because you can't possibly read? But on the Discord, you can have as many channels that you need. And with our chat room, it was just the chat room, which existed on an IRC server that we weren't running.
Right.
So in this case, this is the LRN server, and so we can have a channel for Free Talk Live listeners. We can have a channel for gaming discussion. We can have a channel for cryptocurrency discussion. We can have a channel for whatever other things that we feel like we need to add later that we haven't figured out yet that we need right now.
I can't believe you're running Discord. It's not open source. You should just be on IRC.
Are you channeling your boss? You're channeling Chris right now?
This is a discussion that happened earlier today, in fact.
It's a legitimate critique. I mean, there's no doubt that
you should just
Discord,
be on IRC.
Discord
We've
is
been on IRC.
I know.
We are still on IRC. The IRC server is still there, and you're welcome to join that channel if you like. You just have to go up against the Cantwell racist trolls that tend to hang out in there. They kind of took that place over at one point. I don't know if they're still there. I haven't logged into that channel in forever.
I made them very angry by suggesting that IRC stinks because unlike HTTP, which has had developed upon it, HTML version 2, 3, 4,
or 5.
Yep. There's been advancements in the technology that's built upon HTTP. What's happened with IRC? Nothing.
There are some pretty nice IRC clients out there that make IRC...
that have added 0 new features to the protocol.
But they make it easier to use it. So instead of having to type commands into, let's say, ban or kick people from IRC, you can just do it with
advancements that
GUI.
Were made over a decade ago.
It's old, yeah.
Nothing new has happened in IRC.
He met his significant other on a IRC chat, so it's nostalgic. Chris did.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, the two people I was arguing with.
There is nostalgia involved for those who are old school with IRC. And so, like I said, it's still there should you wish to go in there. And it is an IRC server, so if you know the commands and you want to go start your own channel, you can go and do that.
/me thinks that IRC stinks.
Where is the old IRC channel? Is it chat.freetalklive.com?
That might take you there. I don't know. It's been so long since we promoted that. I honestly...
It does say IRC here.
There you go, yeah. So to further answer your question, Mark, so with Discord, it is centrally controlled, meaning that Discord's a company or a corporation that is offering this service. You spin up a server on their servers, and I agree, that is a legitimate critique of Discord. If Discord goes out of business tomorrow, it's over. If Discord wants to turn over chat logs to the government, that's what's going to happen. So, keep that in mind. Don't do drug deals or something on the LRN chat server. Be aware that it is not a private place. It's just a place for people to chat and to have voice chat, which is a major thing that IRC doesn't have. IRC is just text chat.
There is somebody in the IRC room.
Okay. Are they talking, though?
Well, I asked, is anyone here? He or she said no.
There you go. Welcome to IRC. I suspect your welcoming would be a little bit better if you actually went over to the Discord channel. Or channels. Because, again, you can have more than one, and you can have certain access restrictions. So, like with IRC, it would have been a way bigger pain to have an AMP-only IRC room, because we'd have to deal with like server level settings that we didn't necessarily have access to do that. Here, it's no problem. It's easy to set up rooms for special groups of people. And so anyway, check it out over at discord.lrn.fm. Of course, you can also jump into our on-air call-in line there. So that's another thing you can do with Discord that you couldn't do with IRCs. Get on the radio with us.
I'd like to say hello to the lonely troll that's in the IRC room right now listening.
You have made his life worth living.
Or hers. Yeah.
Probably his. Do you think there's a breakdown? Do you think there is a breakdown between male versus female trolls out there? Is it more likely that a troll is going to be male? And if so, how much more likely?
I don't know, but I would say more likely to be male.
I would say so too. The toll-free number here tonight, if you want to join us, 855-450-FREE.
Women can more easily find entertaining things to do.
In fact, some people have said that's true. And some people have said that the Discord is better than Facebook. Now, it's different than Facebook. It's a live chat service, so I don't think it's quite fair to compare one to the other. It's certainly not an apples and apples comparison. But that said, the person's opinion is a valid opinion, meaning that they like it better. They like the interactions that they have better, the immediacy of it perhaps, because if someone else is in the room, you're likely to get a response. And so far, they've been pretty friendly. We had a couple of raids from some of the not-so-nice people, and we got rid of them pretty quick. So 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. You can bring up what you want. On the way, Grumpy Cat. He's won a $710,000 copyright lawsuit. Do memes have rights? It's Free Talk Live.
Thinking about getting into cryptocurrency? It's time you looked into Dash. Dash is digital money that you can use to send instant and private payments anywhere for pennies. Dash offers a decentralized network where miners are rewarded for keeping it strong and safe. Dash has made a huge impact in the crypto world. Start your journey. Check out Dash.org for more information and get in now on the future of cryptocurrency. Dash.org.
The Bitcoin.com wallet is a simple and powerful full-featured Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin Core wallet that allows you to send and receive either currency with anyone, anywhere in the world. Download the Bitcoin.com wallet for easy and secure access to your Bitcoin Cash. It's perfect for beginners, and the Bitcoin.com wallet makes using and holding Bitcoins easy. No logins are required. The Bitcoin.com wallet is available for Android, iOS, Windows, Mac, and even Linux. Learn more at Bitcoin.com.
Crimes of the Crown by Captain Mark. The Crown casts the world in shadow and claims to be our guiding light. Cowards clamor for security from boogeymen and ghost stories, while I say these hobgoblins are imaginary. I say those they propped up as our liberators are now subsisting on our bondage. I say there is freedom in the black, and that's exactly where we intend to go. The Crown banishes its own officers for exposing its crimes and tortures dissidents to the brink of madness. It dominates the globe and swallows the wealth of generations, leaving only blood and excrement. The Crown calls it piracy to explore frontiers beyond its grasp. So the time has come for us to define the conduct among pirates. I say the Crown has trampled our necks long enough. Need decentralized solutions to centralized problems? Looking for a community of like-minded scoundrels? Or just want some swag to let the Crown know what you think of it? Join the conversation at pirateswithoutborders.com. We won't be hard to find.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm. Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get 1 free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you are helping the state. You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at bitcoin.com. That's bitcoin.com.
Love what we do? Please help support our international satellite channels at patreon.lrn.fm. That's patreon.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. You are invited to join us here, whether it's Facebook or other communication technologies. That's kind of what we've been discussing here tonight. Facebook as an advertising platform, and is it really any good for that? Some people swear by it, and others have had really negative experiences. And then also cryptocurrency ads being banned from Facebook across the board. Joining you in the studio tonight, it's Ian. Oh, sorry, Johnson. Try that a second time.
Dan Johnson.
And Mark.
Excellent. Blink Home Security System can be delivered to your door. It's a wireless camera system, which means it's easy to install. That's the worst part about these other camera systems, besides the fact they're also more expensive. It's a pain in the butt to install them. With blinkprotect.com/FTL, you get a great deal, 3 Blink cams for what some of the other guys might charge you for 1 camera in a wired system. And again, it's wireless. You unbox, you put the batteries that are included into the cams, set them up, and get it all configured via your Wi-Fi enabled device, like a smartphone or tablet. Go to blinkprotect.com/FTL, like Free Talk Live. That's blinkprotect.com/FTL. And so you can bring up anything you want. Johnson, earlier in the show tonight, you shared a story, and I don't think we were quite done with it. But just to recap, there's some Salesforce chief, and this is a piece of software, apparently.
Yeah, Mark
Salesforce.
Benioff. He's kind of a well-known investor.
He's a scumbag.
Yeah.
He has been calling for the regulation of Facebook by the government, claiming it should be regulated like the cigarette industry. He claims the cigarettes are addictive. They're not good for you. Maybe there's all kinds of different forces to try to get you to do certain things. There's a lot of parallels. So it seems to me, and he doesn't get very specific here, but if you're saying you want to regulate Facebook like cigarettes, that means you want warnings on Facebook, right? Because that's one of the primary ways. It would mean you would want Facebook to not advertise.
Maybe minors can't use it.
Ooh, right. And they do have a very large user base, I believe, that are under the age of 18 or 21.
Right.
I guess cigarette age is 18 in most places, although I think some towns in Massachusetts have opted to go up to age 21.
Right.
And I don't know if any states have gone that far yet. For some reason, I feel like I heard New York propose it, but I don't know if that went forward.
Yeah. So just to recap, we were also talking about this Roger McNamee, who was an early investor and a venture capitalist, invested in Facebook, who said that the company needs to address the harm the platform has caused through addiction and exploitation by bad actors, and went on to say, I was once Mark Zuckerberg's mentor, but I have not been able to speak to him about this. Unfortunately, all the internet platforms are deflecting criticism and leaving their users in peril.
Now, as far as dealing with the harm of its product, again, looking back at the cigarette industry, you remember in the late 90s there was that big court case that resulted in, a multi-billion-dollar, hundreds of billions of dollars or something like some insane amount of money that was assessed against these cigarette companies that they had to use to, like, promote about how bad their product was.
Right.
Like, it had to be some sort of educational propaganda campaign against their own product, I believe is what they were ordered to do as part of this this particular civil case that had been brought against them.
Yeah,
you recall that?
Yeah, that was part of it.
So would that mean Facebook would also have to start advertising about how dangerous its product is?
It seems like that's already happening, because the next quote is from Sean Parker, who you may remember from Napster.
No.
Okay,
I remember Napster.
He was the creator of Napster.
Oh, okay.
And Sean Parker is kind of what widely known as this kind of crazy partying developer, out in Silicon Valley.
Okay.
And he was Facebook's first president.
Ah.
And he had described the business practice of social media firms as a social validation feedback loop. Exactly the kind of thing that a hacker like myself would come up with, because you're exploiting a vulnerability in human psychology.
So he's turned. He's turned against Facebook.
Parker now describes himself as something of a conscientious objector to social media.
Well, I mean, Facebook isn't what it once was, right? It started as a college connections kind of thing where you had to be a college student. They validated that, and then you could, message your classmates or something like that online. You could see their pictures of their parties or whatever it was that it was used for back then. It was much smaller, a much smaller focus. So whoever it was that created this thing, and maybe that was when he was in charge of it, the Sean Parker guy, it certainly has grown much larger than likely they originally envisioned, I would expect.
Well, and now Facebook is, as a part of an attempt to win back control of the narrative, Facebook has announced that it will begin taking into account how trusted a publisher is as part of its newsfeed algorithm. The company's metric for determining trust, however, is a simple 2-question survey, causing some to query its potential. So now Facebook is apparently going to determine what the news is by, how trusted it is. They determine what news sources are to be trusted.
There's an interesting link on this Sean Parker guy in this story here from The Guardian that says that he describes himself as something of a conscientious objector to social media, which then links to another story, actually recently published within the last week over at theguardian.com, about how apparently, a headline, "Never get high on your own supply, why social media bosses don't use social media." Headline here from Alex Hearn. Developers of platforms such as Facebook have admitted that they were designed to be addictive. Should we be following the executive's example and going cold turkey? And is it even possible for mere mortals? Mark Zuckerberg doesn't use Facebook like you or me. The 33-year-old, he's only 33, 33-year-old chief executive has a team of 12 moderators dedicated to deleting comments and spam from his page. According to Bloomberg,
12 people.
That's right.
Work on Mark
his
Zuckerberg's
profile
page.
Yeah. He has a handful of employees who help him write his posts and his speeches, and a number of professional photographers who take perfectly stage-managed pictures of him meeting veterans in Kentucky, small business owners in Missouri, or cheesesteak vendors in Philadelphia. And they link to all of those. Facebook's locked-down nature means mere mortals can't see the private posts on Zuckerberg's timeline, but it's hard to imagine him getting into arguments about a racist relative's post of an anti-immigration meme. And it's not just Zuckerberg. None of the company's key executives has a normal Facebook presence. You can't add them as friends. They rarely post publicly, and they keep private some information that the platform suggests be made public by default, such as the number of friends that they have. Over at Twitter, the story's the same. Of the company's 9 most senior executives, only 4 tweet more than once a day on average. Ned Segal, its chief financial officer, has been on the site for more than 6 years and has sent fewer than 2 tweets per month. Co-founder Jack Dorsey, a relatively prolific tweeter, has sent about 23,000 since the site was launched, but that is a lot less than even halfway engaged users have sent over the same time period. Dorsey rarely replies to strangers and avoids discussions or arguments on the site. He doesn't live tweet TV shows or sporting fixtures. In fact, he doesn't really use Twitter. He just posts on it occasionally.
Sounds like how I use Twitter.
That's how I use it.
Extremely rarely.
I've only started using it more now that I'm not on Facebook. So if I've got show prep to post for Free Talk Live, I'll go and drop a link over on the Free Talk Live Twitter. But it requires me to actually have to log into the one account that I want to use. So it's a much more elaborate process.
I pretty rarely ever make a post to Facebook.
Wait, Twitter or Facebook?
Both.
Okay, got it.
I actually engage in conversations on Facebook, but not on Twitter.
There's more on the way here. I find the conversations on Twitter to be disjointed and confusing because you can't easily see where they've come from over time, or at least I've yet to figure out an easy way to do that. More on the way here. This is Free Talk Live. You can share your social media experience and thoughts.
The answer to being in control of your own healthcare is freedom from insurance. Become part of a group of self-pay patients that come together to share in each other's medical expenses. Individual share amounts begin at $107 a month and $347 for families. Choose from 3 health-sharing programs. Holistic treatments may be eligible for sharing. See guidelines. Discount programs available for dental, vision, and pharmacy. Go to libertyoncall.org. That's libertyoncall.org.
Hi, this is Ted Anderson. I'm here to tell you about GCNtelecare.com, a team of board-certified doctors assisting you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Within 15 minutes of registration, care your family can afford. Revolutionizing the healthcare industry, virtual consulting providing diagnosis of non-emergency medical issues by phone or secure video on computer or smart mobile devices. GCNtelecare.com, virtual care anywhere.
Delighted health insurance executives gather in an outdoor coliseum to watch a patient battle cancer, and a self-conscious flasher is fully clothed under his trench coat. This is the Onion Week in Review. While stressing that they would absolutely never consider doing anything of the sort, German leaders quietly admitted this week that they were pretty sure they could carry out another Holocaust if they ever truly wanted to. Quickly noting that the Holocaust was an atrocity that should never be repeated, no matter how easy it would be to do so, almost all members of the German parliament discreetly conceded that with their country's dominance of Eurozone GDP, pulling off the unthinkable genocide would not be the least bit difficult.
I'm just saying, hypothetically, that we very easily could do it. I mean, we definitely have the infrastructure, and the concentration camps are still standing.
In other news, a so-called Christian has an erection. A new study finds more children are growing up in single-parent households, and a real-life Nancy Drew traces the source of her HPV.
This is the Onion News Network.
In Survivor Max 2, School Bites, Max must scavenge through a wasteland swarming with the undead. Desperate to find the medicine he needs, he discovers a community of survivors at his former school. Has he finally found the safe haven he's been looking for, or will he discover that school bites? Look for Survivor Max on Facebook, read reviews on Amazon, and read Chapter 1 at SurvivorMax.com.
Here's a chance to do a little activism while you're cruising Facebook, Twitter, or Google+. Between the LOL cats, the recipes, the hot girls, and the inspirational sunrise memes, Free Talk Live's posts pass by your newsfeed. Like them, comment. It gives us more exposure. If you don't see our posts, click like at facebook.freetalklive.com and then hover over it to click Get Notifications. It's an easy way to spread the ideas of liberty a bit further. I know you're busy, but you can spare that 1/10 of a calorie it takes to click on something. Facebook.freetalklive.com.
Since time began, tyrants have taken aim at personal liberties. Now there's a movie that aims back.
The government has no more right to tell us what to put in our bodies than they have to take our guns or tell us what books we can read.
6 drug police were eaten by bears while raiding a marijuana farm.
On your knees, you dirty hippies! Jesus. On your knees! What's the problem, officer?
Today, many cops who enforce pot laws do so only because it provides them with cushy jobs, good benefits, and a chance to push people around.
I was an undercover narcotics officer. The drug war is nothing but a farce.
The Second Amendment says you gotta keep you and your gat intact.
Guns and Weed, The Road to Freedom. A film by Michael W. Dean and Nima Vadadi.
DVD available now at gunsandweed.com or on Amazon. That's gunsandweed.com. Makes the perfect gift. Remember, that's gunsandweed.com.
This is the Liberty Radio Network, broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at LRN.FM.
It is Free Talk Live. You may dial in toll-free here, 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. And join us online. Head over to freetalklive.com, where you can enjoy the various features that we have for you completely free. Once again, that's freetalklive.com. And if you're interested in cryptocurrency, you really ought to check out Zencash. Now, I just checked CoinMarketCap last night. It has now hit 1,500 cryptocurrencies. There are now 1,500. And that's just the ones that CoinMarketCap recognizes.
How many of them are splits of Bitcoin?
I was actually just looking at a list of those.
Yeah.
There is a website which I can probably pull up. I think I actually put it into the cryptocurrency chat.
Findcoins.something or other.
On the
.ninja.
Yeah, I don't know how much they've been chit-chatting in there last night. Oh, here it is. Yeah, findmycoins.ninja. So if you actually go there, it'll show you the list of all the times there have been forks since Bitcoin Cash, which was the very first fork back in August, where Bitcoin split for the first time ever into two competing types of Bitcoin. Now it has happened, let's see here, looks like well over a dozen times. They're in order of occurrence: Bitcoin Gold after Bitcoin Cash, Bitcore, Bitcoin Diamond, Bitcoin Hot, Super Bitcoin, Bitcoin X, Bitcoin King, Lightning Bitcoin, Bitcoin Faith, Bitcoin New, Bitcoin Top, Bitcoin File, Bitcoin God, Bitcoin Cash Plus, SegWit 2X, Bitcoin Nano, Bitcoin Smart, Bitcoin Interest, and Bitcoin Atom is the most recent one. So all of those have forked off of Bitcoin within the last 6 months at this point. Yeah. And most of them you can't actually get your hands on. So they've had their fork, meaning that there was a certain time frame, a certain block on the blockchain, this public ledger that is the guts, the backing of Bitcoin, that the fork occurred technically, but they haven't actually released any software to which you could utilize to actually get your forked off whatever, your Bitcoin Lightning.
Is anyone even mining that crap?
It's not possible because the software hasn't been released. So if anyone's mining it, it would be the people who did the fork. If they have the software finished,
pre-mine.
They could do a pre-mine. But all of these things, and many of them, it's been as long as December 18th, so well over a month that they've been out there as a fork, but completely inaccessible by not only the average person, but even a technical person who just, if you don't have the software, you can't go and get your forked Bitcoin. So that answers your question. So something like, I don't know, 19, 20 maybe, just at a quick glance here. Toll-free number here, 855-450-FREE like freedom. We've been talking about the world of social media. And Mark did finally get into the Discord chat, so congratulations to you there. You're in there as, what is it, MedgeFTL?
Something like that, yeah.
We're talking about the fact that apparently Facebook and Twitter executives don't appear to use their own product. Is there a takeaway here? Is there something that can be learned from the fact that these agents don't even use the product that they claim is so great? In the case of Twitter, they are looking at co-founder Jack Dorsey, and even though he has tweeted quite a bit, he doesn't reply to anyone. He doesn't, send a tweet at another person, which I guess is fairly common.
Yeah, I think that's probably the single best way to use social media is to just blast out messages at a whole bunch of followers or whatever, and then not bother responding. Because I don't know if you guys are aware of this. Social media is full of people who have crappy opinions. They are so thoroughly attached to their crappy opinion that they will not in any way, shape, or form listen to logic or reasons surrounding it. And if you do find somebody who is interested in chatting about it and won't just pummel you back with one-word answers over and over again, or one-liners or whatever, then you have to spend I don't know. You're going to have to spend your afternoon writing a small book to convince these people that whatever it is that you said is true, and it's just not worth your time.
Certainly not.
Now that you've finally convinced them that Marvel is a superior comic book company to DC, you have wasted a week.
But now you're more social.
And they don't actually believe it. They just gave up.
It's a pattern that holds true across the sector, according to TheGuardian.com. For all the industry's focus on eating your own dog food, for the most diehard users of social media are rarely those sitting in a position of power. I'm a compulsive social media user, writes the author here. He says, I've sent about 140,000 tweets since I joined Twitter in April of 2007, which is 6 Jacks worth, Jack being the Twitter guy. I use Instagram, Snapchat, and Reddit daily. I have accounts on Ello, Peach, and Mastodon. Remember them? No. Don't worry. 3 years ago, I managed to quit Facebook. I went cold turkey, deleting my account in a moment of lucidity about how it made me feel and act. I've never regretted it, but I haven't been able to pull the same stunt twice. So even though he got off Facebook,
can't get off Twitter.
He's hooked on the other ones. And he says, I used to look at the heads of the social networks and get annoyed that they didn't understand their own sites. Regular users encounter bugs, abuse, or bad design decisions that the executives could never understand without using the sites themselves. It's like the old thing where, the executives at Kmart or Walmart, some of them might not have come up through the ranks, right? They came in from the outside, so they don't know what it's like to stock a shelf or to, pull some inventory out of the back room, those kind of deal with customer service.
George Bush
issues.
Sr. got in trouble for not knowing how much a gallon of milk was. I'm not sure I know what a gallon of milk is. I don't think that there's even a clear number as to what a gallon of milk is.
It depends where you get it.
Right. You could pay $4 for a gallon of milk, but I went over to the Aldi's. I paid $1.50 at one point. Yeah. If you get that raw milk, you're probably going to pay $12.
I mean, how would he know the price with it changing all the time from all the new taxes?
Regular users
that he promised wouldn't happen.
He says, how would I wonder, could they build the best service possible if they didn't use their networks like normal people? Now I wonder something else. What do they know that we don't? Sean Parker, the founding president of Facebook, who you mentioned in the previous article that brought us here, broke the omerta in October last year, telling a conference in Philadelphia that he was something of a conscientious objector to social media. He says the thought process that went into building these applications, Facebook being the first of them, was all about how do we consume as much of your time and conscious attention as possible. That means we need to sort of give you a little dopamine hit every once in a while because someone liked or commented on a photo or a post or whatever. And that's going to get you to contribute more content, and that's going to get you more likes and comments. And, of course, the more content Facebook has, the more they have to monetize, the more they have to build profiles on you and sell your existence to advertisers and your presence to those advertisers. He says that it's a social validation feedback loop, as this was the quote they used in the other story. It says that it's the exact thing a hacker like myself would come up with because you're exploiting a vulnerability in human psychology. The inventors, creators, me, Mark Zuckerberg, Kevin Systrom on Instagram, all of those people understood this consciously, and we did it anyway. So what he's saying is this wasn't an accident. We didn't just accidentally stumble across this magic combination of website features to addict people. We consciously designed an addictive program to give you dopamine hits so you would feel good about using the site and continue to contribute content to it and basically become addicted to it. He says a month later, Parker was joined by another Facebook objector, former vice president for user growth, Chamath Palihapitiya. The short-term dopamine-driven feedback loops that we've created are destroying how society works.
Destroying how society works.
That's a big claim.
I think you guys are hubris may be coming before a fall here, gentlemen. Social media is a pimple on the butt of society by, at the most.
A pimple on the butt of society? What do you mean?
He said it's destroying how society works.
I think that's a bit hyperbolic, but
social media isn't much,
I disagree. Go look at the statistics on how many hours per day people spend on social media, especially younger users. The toll-free number
What
here
were they doing before?
Maybe watching TV. I don't know.
Yeah, the screen time is about the same as it was in the 80s.
Now they've got two screens. They've got a television going and their social media in front of them at the same time. The toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. How do you use social media? Has it gone too far? Are you addicted? And do you really care enough to do anything about it? It's Free Talk Live.
Live from the Verticoin studio. This is the call to freedom. It's the Crypto Hour, brought to you by Helium 47 here on LRN.FM. When you hear the faucet, be caller 5 to get some free coins. This is the call to freedom.
Cryptocurrencies are successful because of good technology. The liberty-loving voluntarists who founded Zencash in 2017 took the best tech, like zero-knowledge anonymity and decentralized autonomous organizations, and are creating a secure platform for money, messages, and media that can be sent to anyone, anywhere in the world. Zencash is a cryptocurrency dedicated to peace, anonymity, and decentralization. Find out more at zencash.com. That's zencash.com.
This is Dan Pilla. Do you owe the IRS money you can't pay? Are tax debts crippling you? I've defended people from the IRS for over 30 years. I've helped thousands, and I can help you too. I wrote the book on IRS settlement, and I'm telling you, there's no such thing as a hopeless case. Call 800-34-NO-TAX to finally get free of IRS debt. With the IRS's new programs, there's never been a better time to solve your problem. Call 800-34-NO-TAX. That's 800-34-NO-TAX, or my website, danpilla.com.
Kiss your credit card debt goodbye. I'm Pharmacist Keith. Dr. Wallach, the Dead Doctors Don't Lie guy, and myself want to show you how to achieve financial peace, creating an extra income that will last for years to come by joining Dr. Wallach's crusade, spreading his message of better health. To learn more, visit radio.recordedvideo.com. That's radio.recordedvideo.com, radio.recordedvideo.com, or call 866-257-3105 for a recorded message.
Phone records, financial and location data, Prism, Tempora, Xkeyscore, Boundless Informant. Hey, y'all, Scott Horton here for offnow.org. Now, here's the deal. Due to the Snowden revelations, we have a great opportunity for a short period of time to get some real rollback of the national surveillance state. Now, they're already trying to tire us by introducing fake reforms in the Congress. And the courts, they betrayed their sworn oaths to the Constitution and Bill of Rights again and again, and can in no way be trusted to stop the abuses for us. We've got to do it ourselves. How? We nullify it at the state level. It's still not easy, but the Off Now project of the 10th Amendment Center has gotten off to a great start. I mean it. There's real reason to be optimistic here. They've gotten their model legislation introduced all over the place, in state after state. I've lost count, more than a dozen. You're always wondering, yeah, but what can we do? Here's something important, something that can work if we do the work. Get started cutting off the NSA support in your state. Go to offnow.org.
So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM.
I love My Magic Mud. I drink a lot of coffee. I had stains on my teeth. Then I found My Magic Mud, and I was told it would remove stains. So I paid attention when I brushed the first time. My Magic Mud is black tooth powder, and the difference it made in my teeth in one application was noticeable. With 4, my teeth were as white as you normal folks out there. Please go to mymagicmud.com and buy a jar. There's 150 applications for $25. You can use Bitcoin, mymagicmud.com.
You can sign up to receive the latest about the Liberty Radio Network via our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. That's updates.lrn.fm.
It is Free Talk Live. We're talking about addiction to social media. In fact, one guy's saying it needs to be regulated like cigarettes. Now, I don't agree. I think that the government needs to stay out of regulating social media, and I also think the government should get out of regulating cigarettes as well. Let the market decide. Let people come up with solutions to addiction based on compassion and innovation, and do it on a voluntary, consensual basis. And I think you'll find that whatever programs are in existence in that case will be more effective at breaking people of whatever their addictions happen to be. With you in the studio tonight here, you've got Ian.
And Johnson.
And Mark.
We also invite you over to freetalklive.com where you can get interactive in a variety of different ways. We were actually just talking about the Twitch channel off the air, which you can go to twitch.lrn.fm and you can watch us do the show in HD. So we do still have our YouTube channel, and that's got archives that go back for a few years. But those are all in standard definition, or actually slightly lower than standard def. They're 360p. So the actual Twitch feed is now HD in 720p, and it looks great, it sounds great, and it's free to watch. So check that out over at twitch.lrn.fm. They've got their own chat room, but it's pretty slow in there compared to our Discord. So you might want to link on over there, and you can check out the Discord at the same time as the Twitch. Anyway, twitch.lrn.fm as we continue here talking about the habits or lack of habits as far as usage is concerned of Facebook and Twitter executives and other instant message or social networking sites. Turns out that the executives of these sites don't actually use their own product, or if they do use the product, they don't use it the same way as the average user does.
Have you tried to follow or keep up with the new social media platforms?
No. What's a new one?
Snapchat would be new.
That's not that new.
Not that new, but it's newer than say. I
Okay.
I imagine any young person listening
2010?
to us talk about Facebook and Twitter as though they're important is laughing. You know,
I see what you mean, because they've moved on, right?
Yeah,
Young people
a long time ago.
Right, they've moved on beyond that. But I mean,
or
Snapchat
never decided to start using them in the first place, unless it was for a resume. You know.
Okay, well, I got to say, Snapchat I feel like it's been around for a while. Let's see, when did it start?
Yeah, of course.
I'm going to guess 2010. Okay, initial release 2011. So, I mean, that's been around for 7 years. It's a pretty long time in internet time.
How come the kids are still using it?
Are they? Maybe they've moved on to something else.
That's what they say on the news. What the hell do I know?
What are they saying?
That the kids use Snapchat.
Okay, but they're not saying they've moved on to something else.
No.
Okay.
They haven't said that.
Well, come on, kids, get with it.
That's why I'm asking you.
Yeah, get with it. Well,
why are the kids still using it if it's 7 years old?
The phone lines are open. If anybody out there who is a young person would like to comment, you can do that here. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. So more here from the story about these executives. A former Facebook executive, Chamath Palihapitiya, came out and said, quote, the short-term dopamine-driven Facebook loops or feedback loops that we've created are destroying how society works. No civil discourse, no cooperation, misinformation, mistruth. She said at a conference in Stanford, California, saying further, quote, this is not about Russian ads. This is a global problem. It's eroding the core foundations of how people behave by and between each other. I can control my decision, which is that I don't use that S. I can control my kids' decisions, which is that they're not allowed to use that S, unquote. This is what she's saying about the very product that she was involved in promoting as the, she was the vice president for user growth. Now, her statements rattled Facebook so much that the company actually issued a response acknowledging its past failings, a rare move for a business that, despite its mission to connect people, is notoriously taciturn about its shortcomings. Here's what the company spokesperson said in reference to the previous executive's comments. Quote, when Chamath was at Facebook, we were focused on building new social media experiences and growing Facebook around the world. Facebook was a very different company back then. As we have grown, we have realized how our responsibilities have grown too. We take our role very seriously, and we are working hard to improve. Now, doesn't that sound like something you'd hear Harvey Weinstein say? You know, as he was like coming out with some sort of forced statement admitting that it was wrong what I did. I've now realized I've talked to enough of my victims, and I have realized that I was wrong, and I've been a very bad man, and I'm checking myself into a clinic, and I'm going to be all right soon. You don't have to worry about me from now on. It just sounds like that. A few days later, the site pulled a more interesting move, releasing the results of research that suggested that Facebook did make users feel bad, but only if they didn't post enough. Quote, in general, when people spend a lot of time passively consuming information, that is, reading, but not interacting with people, they report feeling worse afterwards, said 2 Facebook researchers in a review of existing literature. On the other hand, quote, actively interacting with people, especially sharing messages, posts, and comments with close friends, and reminiscing about past interactions is linked to improvements in well-being. How convenient, says the piece here at The Guardian. For Adam Alter, a psychologist and the author of Irresistible, an examination of technology addiction, it's almost beside the point whether social media makes you happy or sad in the short term. The deeper issue is that your usage is compulsive or even addictive. And I can say, I can relate. It's so addictive to be on the Facebook platform, and it is that constant, at least for me, it was that constant wanting to see whatever the next thing was going to be. Oh, what's that? There's a notification that I haven't seen yet. Oh, what could it be? I just have to go and see this notification, even if it's just one notification number. You know, the little globe adds a number every time you get a new one. You got to go click that. At least that's what I would do. Until I finally restricted myself to a minimum. I said, okay, well, I'm not going to click on this notification icon unless it was at a certain minimum level. And then I raised that minimum level over time to be higher and higher levels. And that's one of the ways I kind of broke myself of the Facebook addiction. But even when I was doing that, I was still spending an inordinate amount of time on Facebook just doing other things. So instead of, clicking the notifications, I would go and read, groups or whatever else, scrolling endlessly down the Facebook feed. So I definitely know where he's coming from there. Quote, roughly half of the adult population has at least one behavioral addiction. Not many of us have substance addictions, but the way the world works today, there are many, many behaviors that are hard for us to resist. And a lot of us develop self-undermining attachments to those behaviors that border on or become addictions. These addictions haven't happened accidentally, Alter argues. Instead, they're a direct result of the intention of companies like Facebook and Twitter to build sticky products, ones that we want to come back to over and over again.
We've heard this over and over again, the whole Facebook's addictive thing. And,
it is.
Aren't humans just creatures that like to do what they like to do?
They sure are.
Okay, so Facebook's designing itself to be a pleasant experience. I don't know.
Except when it's not.
Well, what do you mean when
they
it's not?
just admitted in their own research that there are unpleasant uses for Facebook, meaning that if somebody is reading and not commenting, they claim that they feel sad.
Whoopee. Stop doing things that make you feel sad.
Right.
I just don't I don't know that I feel like Facebook is doing anything to you.
No?
If you feel bad because you're reading Facebook and you're not commenting, stop doing things that make you feel bad. Facebook hasn't done anything to you. It's not like...
No doubt. It's just out there. It's just a product.
The Marlboro man isn't taking cigarettes and snuffing them out on your forehead.
I totally agree.
If that's happening, it's because you're doing it.
But there is no doubt that nicotine, for many people, is a very addictive product. Mark, you yourself used to be addicted to it until you had to quit cold turkey.
Well, I used a product.
You didn't quit cold turkey?
No, I didn't just quit cold turkey, no.
Okay.
I don't know where you
might have
gotten that
addiction is a thing. You're acknowledging that.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay. An addictive product is...
Are you saying Facebook isn't an addictive
not
product?
Not like that, no.
Well, I disagree.
This is funny. The whole dopamine argument thing. Look, at that point, anything's addictive.
They've admitted they designed it to be addictive. Go ahead, Johnson.
I'm still using Facebook for the original reason that I signed up to use Facebook, which is passive awareness of what people I know who are using Facebook are doing with themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And guess what? It still does exactly what I want it to do.
So you don't feel like it's out of control for you, that you're spending too much time there or anything like that?
I check my notifications usually when I wake up. And
that's it?
Maybe occasionally throughout the day I'll just look and see what my notifications are. Most of them are useless because they're like, this person liked this. I don't care. Thanks.
Yeah.
Okay.
I actually found at one point a plug-in. I looked for a long time, and finally somebody made one that actually eliminates this person liked this notification.
Right.
So then I would only get the notifications of comments and things like that,
right.
which helped a little bit, but it didn't stop me from spending time on Facebook. It just stopped me spending my time doing that.
I mean, I did have an addictive activity that I like to do on Facebook for a while that I've since given up, and given up in general, which was to make the lives of people who I disagree with worse.
That's good. You're now focusing on yourself instead, right?
Yeah, I've decided that that's not worthwhile activity.
That's excellent. I'm glad to hear that, although it was fun to watch.
Yeah.
The toll-free number here is 855-450, free like freedom. Mark, you're saying it's no big deal. It's just an addictive product, just like many addictive products. So
No, I'm not saying it's an addictive product. I'm saying it's something that people like.
It's definitely addictive. There's more coming up. Free Talk Live.
Are you happy washing your hands with harsh chemicals? Are you happy doing laundry with detergents? Are you happy paying high prices? Find your happiness with Pure Soap. These all-natural, earth-friendly Pure Soaps are the very best you've ever used. Buy in bulk. Get a 12, 36, or 48-month supply. Or get items individually and still save big. You're getting soap products twice as good as what you're using now. Earth-friendly and natural soaps. Your family deserves the best. Happiness is 5starsoap.com. Why not put your money up the drain for a change? See them at 5starsoap.com or call 1-800-340-7091 for a catalog. Cal Ben Soap Company can save you thousands of dollars and give you good old-fashioned real soaps that are triple concentrated. Soaps made from vegetable and coconut oils. See their full selection of soaps at 5starsoap.com. That's F-I-V-E starsoap.com. Or call 1-800-340-7091 for a catalog.
Ross Ulbricht was convicted in early 2015 of running the infamous Silk Road Underground Market. The Silk Road was a gift to humanity and helped reduce the harms brought on by drug prohibition. For this good deed, Ross has been sentenced to life in prison with no possibility of parole. Now, an appeal is Ross's only chance, and he needs your support. Please visit freeross.org, where you can contribute via various methods, including Bitcoin. Visit freeross.org. That's freeross.org.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free at apps.lrn.fm.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Tuesday, January 30th, 2018. Silver is trading at $17.17 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,336 per ounce. Zencash is trading at $47, and the average price of Bitcoin is $10,863. Antiwar.com reports with the Islamic State all but eliminated from Syria, the U.S. has been trying to transition its strategy into an open-ended military presence with an eye towards picking a fight with Iran and imposing regime change on the Assad government at some point. That strategy looks to be in tatters as Turkey's invasion of northern Syria seems to be changing the situation on the ground in such a way that the U.S. military presence may no longer be sustainable. Turkey's invasion is threatening to overrun all of the Kurdish YPG territory, and all of America's deployments in Syria are within YPG territory, often embedded with YPG forces. This is setting the stage for a U.S. clash with Turkey, as Turkey demands that the U.S. withdraw from Manbij, a YPG-held city. Manbij is the demand right now because it's the next target, but with Turkey telegraphing attacks on everywhere else in the country, the U.S. is going to be ordered out of all the territory eventually, and with Turkey still seething over U.S. support for the Kurds, they're probably not going to let them keep their troops deployed in the territory. Where this ends is anyone's guess, as Turkey seems to be betting the U.S. will withdraw rather than risk a clash with another NATO member, and the U.S. seems to be struggling to figure out what to do next. Either way, the U.S. just keeping its troops stationed there and waiting for a chance to go after Iran and or Assad is no longer an option, and if they want to stay in Syria at all, the U.S. is likely going to have to figure out something Turkey will accept at the expense of the Kurdish alliance.
For over 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals like gold and silver. And as a Bitcoin-preferred business, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts Brokerage today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co.
UPI reports President Donald Trump on Monday said he plans to push a bipartisan effort on immigration reform and tout his success on tax legislation during Tuesday's State of the Union address. He said any deal on the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals program would require Democratic support because Republicans don't have the votes to pass legislation otherwise. DACA, which gives protection to young undocumented immigrants brought to the United States as children, expires in the spring. A senior White House official told reporters last week Trump plans to use the annual speech as a sales pitch for immigration, which likely would include funding for a wall along the United States border with Mexico. Tuesday will be Trump's first official State of the Union address, though he did address a joint session of Congress in March. An official said that overall Trump's speech will push the theme of unity. Jennifer Grossman, former speechwriter for President George H.W. Bush, said that because Trump frequently talks directly to the public via Twitter, his State of the Union speech likely won't matter as much as they did for previous presidents.
Are you an advocate for free market money? Do you promote Bitcoin as an alternative in a fiat-centric world? Then you need Spendabit in your arsenal, the search engine for things you can buy with Bitcoin. Spendabit aggregates millions of products from thousands of Bitcoin-enabled merchants. Keep your money in the free economy. Visit spendabit.co today. Bitcoin merchants, ask about our merchant suite to reach even more customers. Spendabit.co.
Reuters reports Defense Secretary James Mattis has ordered a review of security protocols, according to officials, after fitness tracking devices broadcast patterns of movement at military facilities around the world, including war zones. Nathan Russer, a student at the Australian National University in Canberra, drew attention to data when he wrote on Twitter about the images after stumbling upon Strava's global heat map. His discovery prompted others to scour the heat map. Many of the bases cited are well-known outposts that host U.S. and U.S.-backed personnel. The app potentially discloses not just the broad location where foreign troops operate, but the routes they travel. There is also risk that Strava itself could become a target of nations trying to mine its data to discover identifiable information about who was wearing the devices. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.
This is the Onion Week in Review. A study finds that Americans need 6 hours of uninterrupted sleep at work in order to leave the office feeling refreshed and alert. Leading endocrinologists told reporters that more and more people are pulling all-dayers and drinking coffee just to keep themselves awake for meetings and conference calls, and that in order to be properly rested, employees should arrive at work, check their email for a few hours, and be sound asleep by 11:30 a.m. at the very latest.
In order for the body to properly function, adults need to make sure that they're well rested and they're not staying up too late at work.
The Lord our God, divine creator and ruler of the universe, announced Wednesday that he does not consider human beings his most impressive creation, saying instead that mountains are categorically superior in every way. Claiming that mankind was a good creation and worthy of praise, the deity explained that human beings simply pale in comparison to the slopes, valleys, and sheer magnitude of a snow-capped 20,000-foot mountain, and that while all humans eventually grow old and die, mountains last forever.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
It is Free Talk Live, and you can take control of the airwaves here. You can bring up whatever you want. Our number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. And you can bring up anything. We're launching here into the third hour of the show. We're talking about executives at these social media companies and how it turns out they don't even use their own products, or those that do aren't using them in the way that they expect their users to use them. Joining you in the studio tonight, it's Ian.
And Johnson.
And Mark.
And Mark, you were just arguing moments ago that the Facebook product you say is not addictive.
I think that the term addictive is just tossed about and disempowers people. I mean, how many times have you heard that addiction's a disease? Facebook isn't a freaking disease, you poor, pathetic individual.
No, I agree with you. I don't think addiction's a disease. I think that it is an addiction. It is something that is compulsive. It's a habit. It's something that people do because it brings them some sort of pleasure most of the time. And so that's why they continue to do it, whether it be eating ice cream constantly or whether it be watching television constantly or on Facebook, whatever.
I think we need better terms, okay? So addiction, I like to leave for things like tobacco.
Why?
Heroin.
Why?
Because they're serious addictions. Whereas a compulsion, you said a compulsion and a habit. I don't mind terms like habit, compulsion, things like that. Those are it because it breaks that paradigm. When you say, well, I like to eat strawberry ice cream at night at about 9 p.m. before I go to bed. You don't have an addiction. You might get a dopamine rush, but dopamine is released by the brain all day for all kinds of reasons.
What if you're thinking about the strawberry ice cream all day? What if you don't eat the strawberry ice cream and you toss and turn at night because you want it so bad?
There are people with strawberry ice cream addictions.
Aha!
And when the average strawberry ice cream consumer says that they have a strawberry ice cream addiction, they are insulting those people. Okay?
So wait, what you're saying is some addictions are more addicting than others. Right? Some products are more addicting.
That's exactly what I'm saying, and that
and you're saying that
the lesser
Facebook and social media they don't rise to the level of tobacco.
They don't even come close.
Even though there are probably more users of social media in the world, maybe than tobacco, who maybe spend more of their precious time on that platform, I don't know. I mean, you're not going to likely die because of your Facebook use, so I'll give you that.
You're just dying a little bit inside every day.
But, we've certainly talked about internet addiction. I mean, would you rank internet addiction in general as not important?
Yes, I would say
because people have lost their jobs, they've lost their relationships, they've lost, time, money, all kinds of things.
They didn't value those things. You know where their value lies because you can see what they do.
Uh-huh.
That's what they do.
Is what I used to look like.
I don't know what that was. Some browsers started playing somewhere here.
That's how you know what people value, is they're doing what it is that they value. So these things where these courses where you send your kid to break their internet addiction, I mean, come on. These are people that have never had jobs, never had responsibilities, and you think that they're addicted to the internet? No, their lives are empty and meaningless. That's why they think they're addicted because they've never had any sort of real interactions. Real life hasn't smacked them in the face.
That's not true at all. There are people who are internet addicted who are in their 30s and 40s.
By the way, guys, the clinical term here is PIU.
What's that?
Problematic internet use. It's apparently the psychological term for now internet addiction.
And didn't they add it to the DSM recently as well?
I think so,
I think they did. That doesn't mean it's necessarily real, but it's certainly a problem for some people, Mark. And for you to downplay this when people have lost their livelihoods due to internet addiction, I think it's kind of insulting to those people.
I mean, there are people that have died, right? Like the guys in South Korea just
playing video games. Yeah, they starved to death.
Now, those people were legit addicted, right?
Right? Okay, so it's funny, but it's not funny for their mother, right? Like,
no, Ian,
that's pretty
I'm not
serious.
saying that nobody has ever experienced this addiction. In the same way that I just said, not 3 friggin' minutes ago, you slack-jawed dullard, that people can be addicted for real to strawberry ice cream.
Yeah.
They can be addicted for real to the internet. However, if you're listening to me and you think you're addicted to the internet, the chances are extraordinarily high that you are a self-possessed drama queen and not addicted.
I disagree.
Have you ever watched that show, My Strange Addiction?
No.
They have, it's great. They got people on there like, addicted to eating mattresses, things like that.
That's fake.
No. There are
people
real
are addicted
strange
to eating
addictions.
things, yes.
Yeah, there are just
if you're eating glass, you're addicted to eating glass. I'm sorry.
Okay.
You're there's something wrong with your brain.
Yeah, it's a TLC show. They have some very, very strange things.
But in this case,
the next episode for the next will be this woman who will go to extreme lengths for extreme neck length.
Oh, no. Neck extensions?
Yeah, like this. Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, obviously people have whatever it is that they like to do, but it's when that thing that you like to do becomes a problem that it's an addiction. And there are people out there.
The first instant that it becomes a problem, that's when it's an addiction? Or after it's been a friggin' year and you've known it was a problem the whole time and you haven't done anything about it?
I would say it's when it becomes a problem. It's when it becomes, something you feel like you have to do. You feel bad if you don't do it. And, these are classic signs of addiction. And so you've got people here that worked in the industry, Mark, that are telling you, we designed this to be addictive, like these video games with the loot boxes. I don't know if you were on the show when we talked about the loot boxes. I think it was last Friday. But one of our listeners...
These ones that are sort of a randomized whatever you get kind of thing?
Yeah, so one of our listeners actually had a lot more insight into this. Obviously, he is somebody who spent some time in these games. Makona 512. He wrote this, and finally getting around to listening to the episode from the 26th, I wanted to say that for loot boxes in games, they're most commonly found in games targeted at very young children. The push for legal action, because what the story was the state of Washington's, one of the legislators there wants to ban loot boxes or regulate them to where they wouldn't be available to people under the age of 21 or something like that. Anyway, he says they put them in games targeted at young children and the push for legal action started because that same level of loot box has now ended up in popular AAA games. AAA being the high dollar value, very big production games.
This is the EA games,
right.
Star Wars that came out where everybody is outraged that
correct.
That they paid $50 for a game and then have to pay for upgrades within the game.
He says, well, you don't have to. You can grind forever in the game to try to get them.
Every player knows that you can't beat a payer. Players
Correct.
can't beat payers.
He says they designed the game such that its progression is slowed to a point where it can take months or years to make a meaningful amount of progress. The crazy thing is the ones targeted at kids are far worse, as those often use, get this, microtransaction systems which dynamically adjust the odds of the game and the loot box based on the data collected on the player. If the player has no concept of the value of money, like a child might, it will reduce the odds of getting something good and significantly increase the prices. Meaning if you give your kid access to your credit card or whatever to play his little game, but he doesn't really understand the value of money. I don't know. Somebody apparently. One of our listeners actually corrected me because I said that with like online gaming systems like Xbox or PlayStation that you usually have to type in like a credit card CVV number to verify that you are the person who you say you are. But I was told that's not the case. Like once you put a credit card in some of these systems, it's just logged in there and then anybody who's got access to it has access to it.
Ironically, when I was a very different person around the age of 10, maybe 11, I actually did this.
Where you
I had a stepfather who I really didn't like. And, I knew that there was a cost, and I knew that the cost to the game that I was playing online through the Prodigy online service was going to hit his credit card, and I was like, whatever.
Yeah.
And so I just made charges and didn't care.
What was the total damage?
I don't know.
They didn't talk to you about it? Or did they confront you?
Yeah.
They did. I remember when
yes, there was a conversation had.
I didn't do that on a basis of being mean. I just did it because I was hooked on CompuServe and racked up a $200 month, 1 month in fees from that, and then you just got that from just going
Suddenly
on there.
you learned the value of money.
I certainly was talked to about responsibility in those areas. More coming up here. It's Free Talk Live.
I got my Blink home security system delivered right to my door. I downloaded the app and it walked me right through the easy setup. Even with my complicated router system, I was done in like 10 minutes. Now it notifies me whenever something moves in front of the wireless cameras, or I can just check it whenever I want right from my phone. And I got you a deal. Get 3 Blink cams for what the other guys charge you for 1. Plus, an extra 10% off. Visit blinkprotect.com/FTL. blinkprotect.com/FTL. blinkprotect.com/FTL.
Thinking about getting into cryptocurrency? It's time you looked into Dash. Dash is digital money that you can use to send instant and private payments anywhere for pennies. Dash offers a decentralized network where miners are rewarded for keeping it strong and safe. Dash has made a huge impact in the crypto world. Start your journey. Check out Dash.org for more information and get in now on the future of cryptocurrency. Dash.org.
You've heard of Bitcoin Cash, but did you know there's now a Bitcoin Cash wallet? The Bitcoin.com wallet is a simple and powerful full-featured Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin Core wallet that allows you to send and receive either currency with anyone, anywhere in the world. The Bitcoin.com wallet supports both single and multi-signature wallets and is available in multiple languages. The Bitcoin.com wallet is available for Android, iOS, Windows, Mac, and even Linux. Learn more at Bitcoin.com. That's Bitcoin.com.
Cryptocurrencies are successful because of good technology. The liberty-loving voluntarists who founded Zencash in 2017 took the best tech, like zero-knowledge anonymity and decentralized autonomous organizations, and are creating a secure platform for money, messages, and media that can be sent to anyone, anywhere in the world. Zencash is a cryptocurrency dedicated to peace, anonymity, and decentralization. Find out more at Zencash.com. That's Zencash.com. Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it. And once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world. So I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here. And I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit ShireSociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, add yourself to the Shire map at ShireSociety.com. That's ShireSociety.com. There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com. So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com.
What's up next? Visit the Liberty Radio Network program guide to find out at shows.lrn.fm. That's shows.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, and you can take control of the airwaves here. What's your addiction, if you want to talk about it? And do you agree with Mark that Facebook, Twitter, all these online social media sites, that the creators who, have been honest, admitted, yeah, we designed these to be addictive. We wanted you to get dopamine rushes so you'd keep coming back for more. You've just blown this off, Mark, saying no big deal. That's not an addiction.
I'm not saying it's no
like
big deal.
other addictions.
Do any of those psychologists that help design these things, these social media sites, do you have any tips for how to make a podcast more addictive?
Yeah, good question. Let's go to your calls and thoughts here. Also, do want to make sure that you know about Anarchapulco. It's coming up. And it's coming up fast. In fact, it is a sellout event for the first time ever in the history of Anarchapulco. It's the 4th year, so they've already gone from, new event to complete sellout, and they've also upgraded their facilities. They're going to be at a completely different location this time around, the Princess Resort in Acapulco, Mexico. Still the beautiful land of Acapulco, but this time on the beach, so you won't need to travel for a half hour as we had to previously at the last place to get to the beach. It's right there for you. The Princess Resort, it's happening February 15th through the 18th. Why am I telling you this? Why will I tell you that Ron Paul and more than a dozen other great speakers are going to be there? If you can't see it because it's a sellout, well, because you can. They're going to be live streaming the event presumably at anarchapulco.com or whatever YouTube channel or Facebook page or wherever it is they end up putting the video. I don't know if they've gotten that far yet. If they have, we haven't heard about it. But I have heard they are going to be live streaming the event, and the reason they're doing that is because they sold out. So they wanted everybody to have a chance to see the great speeches and such there. So check it out over at anarchapulco.com. We'll get to be there in person. Thankfully, I'm grateful for the opportunity to once again broadcast Free Talk Live from the event. We're talking about addiction. And in this case, The Guardian, with a story about the Facebook, Twitter executives, social media executives who don't use the very product that they want you to use. Quote, this is, again, they're talking about the addiction aspect here. The companies that are producing these products, the very large tech companies in particular, are producing them with the intent to hook. They're doing their very best to ensure not that our well-being is preserved, but that we spend as much time on their products and on their programs and apps as possible. That's their key goal. It's not to make a product that people enjoy and therefore becomes profitable, but rather to make a product that people can't stop using and therefore becomes profitable.
In their world, people spending more time on their product is proof that they're doing a good job, right? Like, so if a car manufacturer came out with the brand new Model T has leaf springs or whatever on the seats, and basically is some throwback to some horrifying automobile experience, it's not going to do very well because people want a better automobile experience.
Right.
Now, they're probably not going to spend a whole bunch of extra time in the car as a result. Maybe if they got a really expensive Italian sports car or something like that. But, in total, they're probably not going to spend that much extra time in the car because of it's a great automobile experience. But if it's a great online experience, it's a great in front of a screen experience, then yes, that's where they'll be. If they're not there, then they're watching Game of Thrones. If they're not there, they're playing word puzzles on their phone. I mean, it's not like these people are escaping the internet. It's not like you have given up the internet, Ian. You've given up one website, and you're just
and I feel like I've accomplished something. I've actually got more done
about it.
It's not. I'm not trying to be smug. Look, if you like Facebook, please use it. If you like cigarettes, smoke them.
I don't particularly care about Facebook. To me, Facebook is a means to an end.
It's not, though. It's not very effective at the end. If the sales technique is that you're going to get more friends or you're going to get more attention from using Facebook, I don't know if it's true.
Do you think that there's like a product or some sort of like maybe electronic device, maybe some kind of music or something like that works like sort of like Narcan in the case of an emergency internet overdose? Like if you have had a fatal overdose
pull you
of
out
internet
of it
and you need to,
so you don't
pull
die.
somebody out of it.
I'm
so
pretty
you don't
sure it's
die.
Rick Astley.
Yeah, maybe.
Never gonna give you
Let's
up.
go to Gene, the Christian
let you
anarchist. He's in Tennessee, watching us or listening online. Go ahead, Gene.
Well, yesterday I kind of was leaning towards Ian, and tonight I have to lean towards Mark.
All right.
Mark wins the program.
He's making
today.
you feel better about your addictions because he's calling, not saying they're an addiction, so he wins. Go ahead.
Well, and I think that everything is an addiction. I mean, life is an addiction. Everything that we do. I was just on the Discord explaining I'm addicted to chocolate chip cookies. If I didn't watch myself, I'd be 300 pounds. So everybody is driven by pleasure. Sure. You work, even your job. You work your job primarily to get money so that you can enjoy yourself. That's really an addiction for pleasure.
But
no doubt.
If one overuses the term addiction, it has no value.
Well, plus if you overuse the pleasure.
There are physical addictions and there are psychological addictions.
Right.
The psychological addictions are all about pleasure. I mean, the dopamine. But the physical addiction would be something like heroin or cocaine. And people start on those initially for pleasure, and then they get physically hooked.
Yep, that's absolutely true. And there's no doubt that, an addiction to those drugs can be very, very deleterious as far as one's own health is concerned. I don't think that you can rank them at exactly the same level as social media, but there's no doubt that addiction to internet without moderation, in the same way that an addiction to cookies without moderation is going to make you fat, maybe physically
and
or...
I can tie this into yesterday's topic as well regarding pornography and virtual porn and everything else, is that eventually, I'm afraid, and I think it might take 50 to 100 years, the human race will die out because we're all going to be going into our orgasmatrons for our sexual pleasure, and people are not going to reproduce any longer.
You've already got people
Orgasmo Ray.
You've already got people using sex bots, right? That's already a thing, and certainly artificial
intelligence.
intelligence.
Going to get better and more convincing, and eventually it'll be like going into the holodeck and getting any kind of a pleasure that you want. And when that happens, when we get to that point, if we don't destroy ourselves first, it'll probably be the end of reproduction.
Well, that's why it is important to have some level of control over a habit, and so it doesn't become an addiction, so it doesn't damage your life, or in this case, damage the entire human race. Gene, the Christian Anarchist, thank you for the call tonight. I appreciate it.
To the Orgasmobile. Have you ever?
That's a movie, right?
Yes. Orgasmo is fantastic.
Yeah. So, I mean, if words don't have meanings, then they become useless. If we just continue to call everything one thing, then that word has no value. So I don't like so physical addiction and psychological addiction. I understand these two terms exist, but I have a very difficult time just sort of giving any kind of credence to the whole psychological addiction thing, because ultimately, if you're psychologically addicted to the internet, you're pretty likely to be psychologically addicted to anything that gives you pleasure. You're just one of those people that doesn't have any self-control. And in many cases, it's because real life hasn't been turned its glaring eye upon you for whatever reason. Maybe your parents, just will cover your bills, and you can live at some subsistence level, and it's just good enough for you, or whatever the reason might be. Or maybe you're fine with living in a tent, or whatever the reason might be. For me, I mean, I don't. The reason I got up in the morning, the reason I left my mother's house when I was 20 years old or whatever, simply because I didn't want to live that way.
Anytime, any place, anywhere, radio remains the most intimate of all forms of media. At home, at work, in the car, on smartphones. Over 90% of consumers still listen to radio every week. That makes choosing radio as a place to advertise your business one of the best decisions you can make. Email advertise@gcnlive.com and partner up with an experienced GCN representative. Advertise@gcnlive.com. Easy, affordable, effective.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of Slingbow, a new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, we can have a free market, a truly free market. Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. It's physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project Early Movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com. The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism, will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount. LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
You know how annoying it is when someone keeps stopping mid-sentence as though he or she were asking you a series of questions? Avoid doing that. It sounds unnervingly tentative, and it imposes upon the listener to help you complete the thought. And if you're a job seeker, this alone could be a deal killer. An effective communicator sounds more confident. Complete the thought. Avoid making the listener impatient. With money and attention so scarce now, effective communication skills have never been more important. Cutting through the clutter rather than blending into the blah, blah, blah will help you connect better no matter what the conversation. For more tips, hit survivalspeech.com. I'm Holland Cook. Survivalspeech.com.
If you enjoy LRN.FM, please contribute to your favorite shows via their websites and become an amplifier at amp.lrn.fm. That's amp.lrn.fm.
It is Free Talk Live. You can bring up whatever you want here. We're talking about addiction. It's certainly not the first time we have discussed this topic. And you know, is there a fine line between a habit and an addiction? And I would say that line would be, you know, as Gene the Christian Anarchist pointed out, he loves chocolate chip cookies.
After he said I was right.
And he could eat a bunch of them, but he's restricted himself to eating only a few at a time. I would say that it becomes a problem when it starts to hurt you, when you are eating a bunch of them and you're getting very fat or unhealthy as a result of that, or in the case of internet addiction versus internet usage, where it's hurting you, where you're losing your job, where you're losing relationships, where you're losing significant amount of productivity because you're doing, when you should be doing other things, you're online, you're scrolling through Facebook or playing a video game or whatever it is that is being, I think, deleterious towards what you could be accomplishing or doing. Now, again, if what you want to do with your time is do those things, by all means, it's your life, it's your leisure. You should be able to do what you want. And that's where, to me, Mark, you called me smug earlier. And I mean, I don't think that I'm any better than anybody else. You should do whatever it is you want to do.
Let people know every opportunity you get that you stopped using Facebook. It's just every day.
No, it's not every day. It really isn't.
From you, I hear it, not on the show. I hear from you, somebody you've talked to, I don't use Facebook anymore.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about.
I know you don't.
Yeah, that's not the case. But ultimately, sharing an experience of something that has happened to you is not, there's nothing wrong with that. Hey, I've been more productive since stopping using Facebook. And since before I stopped using Facebook, I bemoaned the fact that I was still on Facebook. I wanted to quit using Facebook, but I kept coming up with reasons why I needed to continue to do it.
My Facebook experience is this. I enjoy seeing pictures of sort of family and friends and those sorts of things. I'll see a bunch of jokes that I like and things that interest me. At some point, I will find somebody on some Facebook thread who has said something that I disagree with, and I will try to correct that bad thinking. And this will happen maybe once every few weeks. And then I'll realize after probably 2 or 3 or 4 exchanges with this person,
this doesn't work.
I have made a mistake. I have made the mistake that I make on a regular basis, which is talking to somebody with whom I disagree on Facebook.
In my case, it's just logging into the site is the mistake, because then I end up getting drawn into the feed and scrolling down and scrolling down. And I talk about it, Mark, because I suspect there are other people that have the same problem. I don't think I'm alone in this particular problem.
Sure you're not.
And so, I just want people to be aware that it is possible to get off of Facebook, and
you don't think they know
my
that?
life is better because of it. Yeah. So, and I've suggested, specific techniques on how to do that.
What are those specific techniques?
I already explained it to you earlier. I stopped using certain aspects of it to sort of
stop the notifications.
Stop the notifications. I eventually ended up putting
stopped paying attention to notifications. That little red
eventually
dot
I stopped paying entirely. Yeah, I upped it to like 70 or whatever the number being.
So you first started at 25 notifications.
I started at 5, then went to 10, 15, 20,
so you're
30,
wait
50.
Until the circle had that number of 5, then 10,
and then I found out that whenever I would click the circle, so whenever it would finally hit the number 50 or whatever, that whenever I'd click the notifications to actually look and see what was in there, it was just a bunch of crap.
It's garbage.
I don't know. I like hearing about stories, like finding out a story, like for example, the whole thing with Melanie that you mentioned at the beginning of the show, with the people talking about her speech at the State House and whatnot.
Yeah, which offended some people.
Yeah, which offended some people, and that a lot of that offense.
You were very interested in that story, Ian, but that occurred on Facebook.
Oh, no, I wasn't interested in actually going to read the thread.
No, but you were interested.
I asked her for the purpose of discussing something on the radio.
I just like knowing how long the turnaround would be. Like, I wouldn't have heard about that for like a good week if I hadn't heard about it on Facebook. And even still on Facebook, it still took me a couple days. But, like, I don't even know that I might have even, without seeing it and reading the details, because I read the thread just to see, what was going on, to see her point of view and to see what was going on with the whole story. And if I hadn't seen it directly on Facebook and just heard you at the beginning of the show just kind of mentioning this thing, I might have gave that the brush off and not even thought about it. And it's just sort of interesting to, like, I like still being able to see when something's going on.
Yeah, but it's not really that important. It's just Facebook drama. That's all it is.
Yeah.
I mean, it was worth talking about on the air because, well, it's dramatic, and it's a conflict here between the libertarians.
You love yourself a conflict.
Well, that's sort of what radio is based off of. So anyway, talking about psychology, talking about addiction, Mark, you're sort of dismissing all of this, but for other people, it is a very serious problem. Let's continue here with Makona's comments on video game addiction. Specifically, these games that are targeted at children and actually are designed to take advantage of the fact that they might not know anything about money. You know how when you could take advantage of a child and say, "Oh, here's the change in my
pocket."
Like
taking candy from a baby.
Right. Take the change that you think's the most valuable. So they take the one they think is the most valuable, and it turns out it was the least valuable or whatever.
Here's 4 coins that I'll trade you for this 1 coin.
Right, something like that.
Yeah.
And so they built this into these video games where they adjust the odds based on the data collected. And so if the concept, or they figure out somehow that the player doesn't have any concept of the value of money, it'll reduce the odds of getting something good in the game and significantly increase the prices of just buying the thing that the player wants. In games like Battlefront 2, EA, the company that produced the game, used fixed prices but set the requirement for free progression to require you to basically play the game as a full-time job. So if you wanted to unlock special characters like Luke or Darth Vader or something like that, you'd have to play for quite a long time. And this tactic, he says, is a most common on PvP, player versus player games, where the monetization, or says moronization, I think he means monetization system, is a system of constantly releasing new loot and new aspects of progression that is scheduled in such a way whereas the players who refuse to pay for the faster progression are nearing a point where they can earn the needed loot and progression through pure gameplay, will now effectively have the goalpost move farther back. Thus, there's always a gap between the paying and the non-paying players, which is what you were saying earlier.
What happens with in these games when they don't walk that thin line is that they just lose the people that are not the payers. That was the way it was with a game that I played at one point.
Do they really care though if they lose the non-paying clients? Because they want to convert them into paying clients, right? That's the whole point of the free game aspect in the first place.
The reason the game being popular is the reason that you have your payers there in the first place. If there aren't people for them to have a squash match with, then it's not fun. So you have to have those non-payers there
so they can be victimized.
Yeah, that's pretty much how it goes. Yeah.
Other games such as Destiny 2 take a similarly bad but different approach by making aspects of the progression permanent but only available for a limited time, and then making it so that even if you played continuously, 24/7, you would not earn all of the loot and progression possible during the time limit, thus making it so the player has to pay in order to fully progress. That behavior is made even worse when you consider that these are full-priced games that are adding $20 in downloadable content and then further charging money if you want to progress at a reasonable rate and stay competitive. So you're always trying to keep up with the Joneses.
My advice to people is just don't play games like that.
Like that, exactly. We don't need the government to get in here to put a stop to this.
Right.
The market can do it. There are independent games out there that don't have these pay-to-play structures. They must exist. I don't pay close enough attention to the industry, but I know there are still indie games being developed that don't have the same, marketing aspects to them.
Yeah.
So, I mean, these are real concerns, Mark. When you're dealing with credit card debt, when you're dealing with a teenager or whoever getting their hands on your credit card and charging up the PlayStation or the Xbox subscriptions and, getting hooked on things and not being able to afford to pay it, and maybe you can't afford to pay it, you got a serious problem on your hands. The toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. You can bring up whatever you want. Actually, coming up, I think we're going to do Edgington Post on the way here tonight. I don't remember who the Post interview is. It is Ildar Faluzhnov. More coming up from that. It was an interview from the Bitcoin conference.
It was a good one, too.
This is the call to freedom. It's the Crypto Hour, brought to you by Helium 47 here on LRN.FM. When you hear the faucet, be caller 5 to get some free coins. This is the call to freedom.
Thinking about getting into cryptocurrency? It's time you looked into Dash. Dash is digital money that you can use to send instant and private payments anywhere for pennies. Dash offers a decentralized network where miners are rewarded for keeping it strong and safe. Dash has made a huge impact in the crypto world. Start your journey. Check out Dash.org for more information and get in now on the future of cryptocurrency. Dash.org.
It's about time something new came along for better selling and buying online. And I found it.
What now, Marge?
It's buysellmakeoffer.com.
Never heard of it.
It's a brand new company. That's why you've never heard of it. It's the newest and best way to sell any products online. I did all the research.
Sell my car?
Yes.
Our home?
Yep.
My golf bag?
Your golf clubs. All of them.
How about your purse collection hoard?
Hey, now.
You said any product.
Right. I did. We get 30 days free.
Really?
Packages starting from only $9.95. And buysellmakeoffer.com will never charge item fees, ever. Never. And this is cool. Listen to this. You can even use Skype or video to show your items.
That's cool.
Yes. All we have to do is go to the website, sign up, and then load our stuff to sell. I love this site.
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. You got it?
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. Better selling, better buying.
Free Talk Live.
What kind of force should I be able to use against a person who tries to prevent me from bringing a guest onto my property?
It depends on if it's a legal citizen, they shouldn't be able to use any.
I don't care about your laws, son. Hey, listen to me. Your politicians are a bunch of liars and thieves. Tell me about your laws now.
Let me finish my statement. Or
I heard about your legals and illegals.
Let him go, Mark. Let him go. Go ahead.
Screaming a little liberal, aren't you?
I ain't no liberal.
Let me finish what I'm saying without cutting me off.
I'm not a liberal. You call me a liberal, and we'll be going at it all night long.
Well, that's the impression that you're giving with the statement.
It's because you've never listened.
Now, if I can respond, all of the laws that are set forth in this nation were set forth by the representatives of the people that we put into power.
You mean liars and thieves.
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
The 3 most important things you can do for Free Talk Live are: 1, share 1 episode a week on Facebook or in some other social networking site. 2, buy the things you buy online through shop.freetalklive.com. 3, give $5 a month to the AMP program. It's my firm belief that Free Talk Live's AMP program is the best use of your charitable dollar among liberty-oriented organizations. Support all the organizations you love. But make sure you give $5 a month to AMP at amp.freetalklive.com.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up at any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
Join the LRN.FM Discord for live chat 24/7 at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
All right, it's another edition of the Edgington Post Show. It is me, Mark Edge, with you, and my co-host for this event,
Henry Rains.
That's right.
Good to be with you, Mark.
Thank you so much. Henry, your show is?
The Henry Rains Show, and that's available on WWPR, 1490 AM in Tampa Bay. But if you just Google Henry Rains Show, you'll find it on multiple podcast platforms.
Yep, and we have known each other for many years. I'll actually do a quick interview with you later on for listeners who want to know about that. But nonetheless, let's go ahead and talk to
Ildar Fulyanov. I knew I'd do it. I apologize to Ildar.
Fazulyanov. No worries.
Yes. Well, it doesn't help to be nearsighted with the card here.
That's the first guy to mispronounce your name, too, I'm sure.
But even more important is joinwell.com is the way to find out more about your
absolutely
product and your enterprise. And Ildar has actually, I found a fascinating human interest story. But before we get to that, tell us what JoinWell is all about.
Yeah, Well is a healthcare platform that connects patients, providers, and doctors globally. We're making healthcare borderless. We do it through our telehealth platform. Telehealth is basically ability to video conference, to secure a message, connect to your doctor at any time.
It seems like the direction that medicine would go. It's pretty inefficient for people to go to offices and sit there and wait and all those things that have to do with a medical visit, when you can just hop on a Skype call at both the doctor's and the patient's convenient, and show them your parts that doing whatever, and just go from there. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, and it's not quite Skype call because it has to be HIPAA compliant in the U.S. Yeah. It has to be secure, so we have that. But yeah, the idea is basically, if you remember in 1995, 97, when you ordered like one book per year online.
Right.
Maybe it was like this little dinky website you've heard about, Amazon.
Yeah, right.
And now you pretty much buy everything online. You don't go even grocery shopping. And
I believe that's true. Yeah.
Yeah, and I believe that healthcare is moving in that direction, and telehealth.
Right. Well, most of us that have commercial insurance have already gotten the push from the commercial insurance companies, whether it's United Healthcare or Blue Cross Blue Shield, for telemedicine. But so the people have heard the term telemedicine. They probably have seen a commercial about it. They know what it is, but you're the person that really makes it work. Is that correct?
That's right, and we also utilize permission blockchain to secure the data.
Which is
blockchain is what allows all these crypto. One aspect of blockchain is that it basically scales trust through long distances. So you can have your data in such a way that only maybe certain aspects of your data are available to your healthcare provider. So potentially you can talk to a healthcare provider and they won't even know your name if you don't want them to. So that's the power of blockchain. And then also,
I'm curious about the provider that will treat without knowing your name, but I understand the concept.
Well, yeah, in the United States, definitely, and we're very careful about HIPAA laws and different regulatory laws. I'm just saying that that's a possibility. And another big value of it is that, like, for example, online pharmacy is also a part of it, or remote patient monitoring, ability to measure certain aspects of patients' health, especially for chronic care patients. You can also do it remotely. And in a combination, it becomes very, very powerful. But obviously, it's a lot easier to manage care if a person physically comes to the office.
Yeah.
So with the blockchain, there's that trust established. And you can, for example, with a permission blockchain, you can have payments, especially cross-border payment, enabled completely frictionlessly with no cost at all to the patient or doctor.
So this may solve, say, pharmacy costs. It's really expensive to buy pharmaceuticals in the United States, but in some countries it's rather inexpensive. So if you could do a pharmacy consult via video, via this platform, and then get your prescriptions from some other country, is that right?
Well, that's a little more tricky because in the United States, you can't just get prescriptions from outside of the United States.
I've heard it's been done.
Well, people do it. It's not like we would enable that if it's not legal. We will not do that. But for example, you may live some other country that it is completely legal. Like let's say you're in Africa, and you're in a remote village, and you get a quick, access to a doctor that prescribes some medicine that comes to you from India. It could be life-saving and, relatively inexpensive. So we could provide that.
Walk us through the patient experience when they sign up at Well Incorporated and they become a part of this platform. How do they experience their medical care?
So you sign up and you can put a certain amount of your data that is required, for example, for a doctor to provide adequate care. That
your medical history.
That's right. So your medical history, your medical record. And then you can start adding different types of information that may be valuable and usable for both your care and potentially worthwhile for pharmaceutical companies, others to use. And as you collect that data, and data in medical field is exponentially more expensive. The more data you have on a certain patient, the more valuable it is. So, for example, you have basic, EMR information. If you could add...
What's EMR?
Electronic management records.
Okay.
So basically health history. For example, if you add your DNA data, obviously you don't want that data floating around because, let's say insurance gets a hold of it and then they deny you certain type of coverage. You don't want that to happen. So with the blockchain, you can set up, just like cryptography works, where you have private key, public key, you can set up certain permissions and sell that data potentially, again, where it's legal, and make money as a patient.
So we're speaking with Ildar Fazulyanov with Well Incorporated. And so I've now put my medical history into your platform, but I have a trailing medical history that from all the years before I found Well. So this is something that's